The Wisconsin State Fair just recently wrapped up at the famed location of the Milwaukee Mile, and the 3-Wide Racing League has moved in to start round one of the 2018 RaceKings Cup Series playoffs. It starts off with the round of 12 in the first three races: Milwaukee Mile, Watkins Glen, and Dover. Hello everybody, I'm Tanner Sharp up here in the booth here on 3-Wide TV, and alongside me is Mr. Justin Kolb, and in the production truck is Mr. Carlos Acosta. Justin, welcome to the Milwaukee Mile. This is race number one of the playoffs. 12 drivers start off here tonight. What do you know about this famed racetrack?
Yeah, my hotkey didn't work there for a second, but this is the moment that everybody's been waiting for. The playoffs starting here. You mentioned 12 drivers coming into this race, and really anything can happen. And as far as my knowledge about this racetrack, I've kind of gone here when I had to for 3-Wide with the playoffs and whatnot in previous seasons. The one memory that sticks out to me, Tanner, about this racetrack, and I'll never forget it, I believe it was Race Clark racing for my team, and Drew Eisenman made some contact with him on the final lap and got him sideways and went on to win that race. That was very controversial at the time, but could see that here tonight for some of these guys battling for the win and trying to get that spot into the next round of the playoffs.
I'm just located about an hour away from this facility, and this racetrack actually opened up in 1903, so it's over 100 years old, and believe it or not, it's one of the oldest racetracks in the United States. It is a 1-mile racetrack. It's got 4 turns. The degrees of banking is 9 degrees of banking, and on the straights it's 2 degrees, so a relatively flat racetrack. Would you kind of consider this kind of closer similarity to New Hampshire, Justin?
I would say that's a pretty good comparison there. I think New Hampshire may be a little bit longer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, they're about the same. Really, I say the only difference is with New Hampshire, you're about a groove higher than you would be at this racetrack, where obviously you can see here at New Hampshire, these guys, where that dark spot is on the racetrack, that's where you're going to want to be, right next to that yellow bump or rumble strip there, I guess.
This race here at the Milwaukee Mile has produced some great racing throughout the last couple of years in the Cup car and the B car here on iRacing, and I'm looking forward, and I sincerely hope it does stay on the schedule in future events of the 3-Wide. Now that's enough about the track. Let's talk about the participating playoff drivers. I got a little bit of a playoff grid here. Not really a grid, but a list of drivers who are currently in the playoffs to start off round one. Cameron Rich is on top of the board with 2,026 points. He's got a 15-point gap over Paul Ross, who's got 2,011 points. 2,010 points sits in third place. Peter Short and Chuck Sweeting. Levi Zielinski is going to sit in technically the fifth spot with 2,004 points. Samuel Close is tied in sixth with Kevin Finn and Luis Salmaso. And Chad Brown, Matt Hackthorne, rookie Dylan Hickey, and Johnny Thomas all tied for that final spot back there. That's 26 points back, so a little bit of a leeway for Cameron Rich, but again, one bad race can put him in the sucker hole to try to get him a win before round two. Now, this is round one of 12 here that'll start here today at Milwaukee. Next week, or in 2 weeks' time, I do believe, they will go to Watkins Glen and then Dover. And then the playoff eliminates 3 drivers, and 9 drivers will remain. And the start of that will be at Talladega on September 24th. So we got some exciting, tough racetracks upcoming. But today we are all worried about the Milwaukee Mile. Kind of looking at the practice charts, Levi Zielinski tops the speed charts right now with Cameron Rich, Peter Short, Chuck Sweeting, and Luis Salmaso, the top 5. That's actually all playoff contending drivers this evening. I do believe, don't they have like some kind of banner? Yes, they would have a blue banner on top of their car here tonight to identify playoff drivers and a blue splitter. So, and a blue spoiler as well to help identify a playoff driver in this evening's festivities. The ticker's in blue in playoff, as you would see throughout the night on the top of the screen. That driver we highlighted in light blue, kind of like a sky blue, petty blue, if a driver is in a playoff or not. Justin, I tell you what, man, let's throw you into the playoffs here. Let's just kind of throw you into the playoffs and say, all right, you're probably in a position where Johnny Thomas is. You're ninth on that. You're tied with other drivers. What do you got to do to try to get by this first round to try to secure yourself into that second round?
Well, I'd like to say, as Johnny said before, being consistent as he's really been all season, but realistically, I don't know if consistency can really buy you into the next round. You got into the playoffs with consistency, but as these playoffs get tighter and tighter, you're going to have to get that much faster to try and either elevate to these guys' level or get past them. So realistically, I guess, the worry about getting into the playoffs is over. Now you really have to perform and show what it takes to be a champion. And Johnny's already shown that. He's a past series champion. So I believe in his situation, he can get it done, but obviously has a lot of work to do.
You mentioned the word consistency, and I like that word because two drivers really got in on consistency, and one of those drivers is Johnny Thomas. He's one of the most consistent drivers in this series. So far, he has racked up 16 top 10s since race 1. That's pretty impressive.
Yes,
on
sir,
top
it
of
is.
that, and on top of that, Sam Close 14 top 10s. Both drivers didn't get any wins in the regular season, but they got in on their top 10s and their consistency.
Yes, sir. And realistically, Sam has been knocking on victory lane each and every week, just hasn't been able to really clinch it quite yet. And realistically, it might happen during these playoffs. And obviously, if it does, he'll get that bye into the next round. But Johnny Thomas, like you mentioned, he's been consistent, and that's what got him here. Hasn't been quite as close to knocking on victory lane. He's been close a couple weeks, but I think he needs to get a little bit more speed into that 83 and needs to get racking up those top fives consistently to be a real contender here in these playoffs. Because Tanner, you know as well as I do, this competition this year has been pretty fierce.
It's been very fierce this year. It's probably the most one of the most competitive seasons that I have seen personally since I've been with this league in one way, shape, or form since day one. Back in 2011, and it's probably the most consistent seasons I have seen out of the 3-wide racing league drivers. I was just when you were talking, I was just trying to compare some stats a little bit between Johnny Thomas and Samuel Close. Sam does have a win here at the Milwaukee Mile that came in the 2015 B Chesapeake Diecast Series season. That was about 3 years ago. Johnny Thomas has never won here at Milwaukee Mile, but he has a best finish of a 3rd place, which actually took place in a cup car here back in 2016. So both drivers definitely know for sure how to get around this joint on a flat track. I don't know what you prefer, Justin, a flat track or a track with banking, but me personally, I love the Milwaukee Mile. I love its history, but I hate driving that it's a flat track.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that I'm not a huge fan of these flat tracks, especially when even on the real NASCAR schedule, whenever New Hampshire comes along, it's mostly a snoozer for me, and I'm not really a huge fan of them. Not saying that they can't produce a lot of good racing, but personally, like you, I'm not a huge fan of driving them.
Let's go to a driver right now because we do have a little time, and I'm just trying to determine when the drivers' meeting is. It looks like it's going to start up right now, but I want to talk about a driver here, Dylan Hickey. He's making his rookie start in this Cup Series this season. What can you tell me about Dylan Hickey this season, Justin? He doesn't have a win, but he has 4 top 5s and 8 top 10s, and he's a playoff contending driver. How would you rate his performance so far this season?
Like you mentioned, it's pretty incredible that as a rookie, he's been able to get to a performance where he's been able to make these playoffs, especially with how competitive the series has been. But he's definitely been a driver that maybe not every week we've talked about him, but definitely most weeks we're mentioning his name towards the top 5, top 10. So and it looks like they're getting grouped up for a picture here.
Looks like the drivers getting grouped up for a playoff picture here at the moment. I don't want to. I would do a grid walk, but I don't want to interrupt what's all going on right at the moment. That's why I wanted to kind of talk about each individual driver that we don't normally talk about. But back on the Dylan Hickey topic, Yeah, I mean, he has an average finish of a 9th place this season, and he kind of started off the season a little bit rough around the edges, averaging a finish about a 12th. All of a sudden, when he came to Pocono, and he had a great run at Pocono, a top 5 finish there. That was back in June. He had a string of top 10 finishes, other than Indianapolis and Darlington, which just recently happened on July 23rd and August 6th. And then the last race we ran, which was at Richmond, he finished 4th after starting 21st. So, I mean, Hickey, he seems like a guy that's a sleeper that can really just come out one of these races and just kind of win a race, you know, and I think a win will be coming for him eventually, but he's got some strong competition ahead of him. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, absolutely, like you said, and I kind of feel like he's maybe in the same boat as Johnny Thomas. He's been, in my opinion, showing a little bit more speed than that 83, but like you said, realistically, haven't really seen what that guy can do, and like you said, he might just break out of here and score a bunch of wins before it's all over. Not saying that it can happen, or it will happen, but definitely can. I don't think we've seen all that 91 has in store here.
Chad Brown has had an up and down season, and he was one of the drivers that was on the verge on maybe missing out of the playoffs, but he had enough points gap to keep him in. He has let's see here. He has 8 top 10s this season, only 1 top 5. What can you tell me about Chad Brown?
Well, from what I've seen out of that 64, it's not very often that we get to talk about that 64. As you mentioned, it made it in on points, but I definitely feel like he has to pick up the pace here if he wants to make it out of this first round. You mentioned hasn't had a whole lot of top 10s, top 5s, but definitely feel like he has to pick up the pace here, as I said, before we get out of this first round, or he may not make it out of it.
Let's talk about one more driver here before we kind of move on. Luis Salmaso. I mean, he's running with 3OG Racing. He's got one of the best guys in the league as teammates with him, Paul Ross and Samuel Close. Both drivers have been consistent this season, but Paul's the only one that's knocking wins out of the park here with multiple victories. Luis just seems like he's kind of the same problem with Sam Close. He's consistent enough. He just hasn't been able to rack up a win yet. What can you tell me about, in your opinion, about Luis Salmasos?
Exactly what you said. He's been in that same camp as Sam, just ever so close to those first wins, and hasn't quite gotten it yet, but he's definitely shown the speed that, like I said before, is almost knocking on victory lane every week. Seems like we're talking about him every week. Consistently in those top 5s, consistently battling for wins, and I know he's tried a few pitch strategies to get him up there as well, but definitely shown the speed that he can win, and I imagine we will see him in victory lane before the season's over.
Drivers meeting's over, correct, production truck? Okay, I just got word the drivers meeting is over with, so let's go ahead and maybe do a little bit of a grid walk and talk to some of the drivers. Let's go ahead and maybe talk with some of the playoff contending drivers. We know what Eisentek's really going to do here. There's one driver I think we can really talk to. Let's go to Randall Falks Racing with Chuck Sweeting. Hey, Chuck Sweeting, 3YTV, got a copy, buddy? Hello, 26.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey there, Chuck. Hey, man, you knocked up a couple wins this season, man. 3 wins, excuse me. Hey, and you're one of the playoff contending drivers now. How do you feel about your chances?
I feel pretty good. I like this track. Generally run pretty good here, but it's going to be a tough race. You know, everybody's going to be fighting for the bottom. That's really the only lane. So, and there's some good drivers here, so we'll just see how it goes.
All right. Well, after this race, maybe you and I can walk over to the Miller Park for a brewer game.
Hey, sounds good.
All right. Let's go ahead and drop one down to Rebel Racing, boys. Okay, if I can stop clicking on Justin's name here. Justin, you got anything for Rebel?
Well, Levi, we know you ran the truck race earlier for Elite and finished second there. Any momentum built there from? I know it's a completely different track, but any momentum built into Milwaukee here tonight?
Milwaukee's always been a track I've always ran good at, and through wide, so we're hoping to bring home the win tonight. We get 1,000 laps led tonight too, but it should be a good race. Cam's gonna be tough to beat, and Chuck's gonna be tough here, so it should be interesting.
And I know this is the first race of the playoffs. Any butterflies for you?
Not really. I mean,
right.
At this type of track, this is probably the track we can probably possibly bring home the win and get ourselves a bye. So we're looking forward to it.
All right, sounds good. We wish you the best of luck here tonight.
Thank you, man.
Would you get butterflies if I was out there on the track?
Not really, Cam or Tanner.
Oh, I remember that.
Only if Carlos is there, because I know how he races at Homestead.
Ouch. Let's go up to Avon Race. I want to get the heck out of here because thanks.
You guys have a good one.
Good luck, Dylan, too. Oh, Kevin Finn, you got a copy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I was just dissed by Levi, man, and I know I've had a few runs with you on track, but I think we're pretty good overall. Hey, you're a playoff contending driver. How do you feel about your chances maybe getting the victory lane here tonight or advancing to the next round?
Well, I feel good about Milwaukee. It's not my best track, but I feel like I can get a top 5 here, and going to Watkins Glen, I'm pretty good there, so but you got to get through this first race first, and a win would be great to get a bye week.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully you get there, man, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next round.
Thanks, man.
Justin, you want to take one more? Where do you want to go?
Oh, man. Why don't we head up to 3OG? That seems to be where most of the breakout drivers, I feel like, will be.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Justin. Take it.
All right. Paul, Luis, Sam, you all got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sure do.
All right. Well, Paul, you've been to Victory Lane already this season, but we were talking a little bit about it earlier. Sam and Luis feel like you guys are on the verge. What's the feeling like here tonight?
I think they'll get to Victory Lane before I do again, especially at this track.
Luis, Sam, what's the outlook for tonight?
I mean, if I can get some long runs, I'll be good. So that's what I'm looking for, kind of burning up the right front and trying to manage that.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a win. I just want to make sure that I advance through this round. So I really don't care about winning the race. If it happens, fine. I'm more worried about who am I racing against and just making sure that I finish every single race ahead of people that I need to be. So that's, if a win comes, a win comes.
I got a quick question here. If one of you three, or should I say all four of you, because you got to include Rusty Webb here, we're racing for the win, would you guys wreck each other?
I know I wouldn't, just because
Don't ask Rusty. Don't ask that.
Chance out of the first round. It's, a road course, Milwaukee and Dover. So I'd be happy with second place just for points, but I could see Rusty doing it to get his first three-wide win. Yeah.
All right. Well, qualifying just about to start here. We wish you guys the best of luck.
Thanks. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks, guys.
I hope.
Oh, I love the grid walks. I try to make it as comical as possible, and that actually, I had to turn off my mic because I was cracking up. But practice is over with, and with that being said, Levi Zielinski tops the speed charts. Nobody could touch his 28.7. Cameron Rich was the closest to that with a 28.839. So now qualification has now begun. I don't know. I think track position is going to be the key deal here. Here we're on board with Peter Short, Mike's Hard Lemonade. Dang, you're making me thirsty. That sounds good now.
Well, yeah, we got a new qualifying ticker over there on the left side, so looks good. Of course, that was made, I believe, by our friends Thomas Morris from OCR TV.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yes, sir. And, well, to get what you said, Tanner, about track position, I just came from a track where I guess it was really key at Kansas, and I have to agree with you, really one groove racetrack, I'd have to say here tonight, and track position is going to be key.
Yeah, except this is not Kansas, and
no,
I'd say if you got fresher tires on somebody, you can get around on the outside.
Got some guys taking some time there. And no surprise, Cam Rich to the top of the board at the moment.
Ran a much faster time than his practice time, but he still has not beaten Levi's time in practice, but that doesn't matter. It's where you're going to start on the racetrack.
Coming across there for his second time lap. Does not improve, but that's still a... well, I thought it was a blistering lap, and then Luis put up a time about 8/100ths just off the pole there. Does not better his second lap, so.
At the start finish line here. Peter Short, third. The 28.912. Not enough, but it still puts him in the top 5 at the moment. Johnny Thomas actually just hit 4th place. That's not too bad of a starting position so far. But there's plenty of other drivers that have yet to qualify. Levi Zielinski just cannot get his numbers out. Looks like he's going to have to settle with his qualifying time at a best of a 28.960. Looks like he just came to the start-finish line. On screen, I do believe that's Tate Lytle. Tate Lytle might be a guy to watch out for here tonight. Oh, we got a driver just went on top of the board that beat Cameron Rich's time. That is Chuck Sweeting, fastest lap time of the evening in both qualifying and practice. Chuck just ran a 28.735.
All right, well, I think we got a strong competitor for Cameron tonight, it's looking like.
On board, but I think this is Lafferty, right?
Yes, sir.
Lafferty has yet to post a qualification time. I do believe this is his lap coming up. He's coming off turn number 4. And at the line, Lafferty, 12th, 29.208. Just a little bit of an update here. You will see on the graph here this evening that Corey Lindsay's on the standings, but he has decided to step away from the car and hop into the officials booth to officiate the races. So that he's the league organizer. We wish Corey was still driving, but he decided to take on the administrator role or the race official role. It's awfully nice of Corey to do that. Looks like, yeah, according to the times here, I'm seeing Dylan Hickey, the only driver that has not posted, as far as a playoff driver is concerned, is the only driver to post not a post a qualifying lap. Everybody else kind of has, with the exception of William Kruska, Tate Lytle, Mike Stevens, and Race Clark.
And it looks like with that, that'll be the end of qualifying there.
All right. I agree with Matt Hackathorn. Hashtag championship Chuck.
Well, definitely showing an early bid for it here.
All right, so let's go ahead and bring up the starting grid. Tonight's Drive for Suicide Prevention. Pole award goes to Chuck Sweeting with a 28.735. Congratulations, Chuck, on getting the pole. Here's $1. Cameron Rich is going to start in second. He is currently leading the playoffs. The playoffs coming into this race for race number round 1. Luis Salamasso is going to start in third. Peter Short will start in fourth, and rounding out the top 5, Johnny Thomas. Levi Zielinski, fastest guy in practice, but he's going to have to settle with the qualification start of 6th. Nathan Velez is going to start in 7th. Samuel Close is going to start 8th. Matt Hackathorn 9th. And rounding out the top 10, Kevin Finn there, Justin.
Yes, sir. Paul Ross going to start 11th here tonight. Richard Lafferty 12th. Jordan Teal will start in 13th with Richard Hines starting 14th. Rusty Webb will start in the 15th position. Nick Miller will start 16th. Chad Brown 17th. Kyle Hanshaw 18th here tonight. James Duke will start 19th, and Tate Lytle will round out the top 20.
Blackjack position, the only playoff contending driver that will not take qualification time, Dylan Hickey will start 21st. William Kruska will start 22nd. Race Clark is going to start 23rd. Well, Corey Lindsay, he's officiating this race. He's not actually racing here tonight, but the grid shows him he'll start 24th. But realistically, the 24th driver will be Mike Stevens. All right, race number 1 of the race 2018 RaceKings playoffs. It's about to get underway here at the Milwaukee Mile. Normally, you don't see the Cup cars ever on a Milwaukee Mile racetrack. NASCAR used to come here. That ended back in 2009, and then Road America opened the doors for NASCAR Xfinity Series racing. However, on iRacing, 3-Wide Racing League makes it all possible. Cup cars will come to Wisconsin to race on both, actually, Road America and the Milwaukee Mile. And this is actually the season where they have decided to start the playoffs at the Milwaukee Mile instead of Chicagoland. I like the idea. I'm kind of glad they did not follow the NASCAR schedule format where it begins at Las Vegas. This gives just an opportunity for the Mile to host a cup race in any shape, way, or form. They're only going to give one pace lap around this joint. They're going to go green this upcoming time by, and we're going to see Chuck Sweeting, who's going to search for his 4th win on the season. And if he does win here tonight, he advances to the next round in the playoffs and wouldn't have to worry about Watkins Glen or Dover. So which playoff driver is not going to have to worry about Watkins Glen or Dover, or are we going to see somebody outside the playoffs sneak his way to the top and find himself in victory lane? Pace car is about to throw itself off of pit road here. Hook up your steering wheels, buckle in your seatbelts. Hopefully you got your popcorn and soda ready, because this is going to be a good one, because we're green at the Milwaukee Mile.
What a great start by Chuck Sweeting there. Already had the advantage on Cam Rich going into turn 1, and he'll take the early lead for the moment off turn 2.
Chuck Sweeting with the early lead. The first side-by-side battle going on is going to be for the top 5 spot right now between Johnny Thomas and Levi Zielinski. 9 degrees of banking. That actually just split up pretty quickly right there with Levi taking it over on Johnny at the moment here. Chuck Sweeting's going to come off turn number 4 and get a bonus point for leading the first lap.
There is quite a bit of jockeying towards the back there for positions. Paul Ross underneath the 14 of Kevin Finn there. That's for the top 10 position.
Paul Ross second here on the playoff grid. He is currently battling with playoff contending driver of Kevin Finn.
Oh, the Lisa Lasso into the wall early here.
Caution is out for it. Lasso was in the 3rd position at the time of that happening, and he got really hard into the corner, it looked like, and the car just stepped out. But nice save, great eyes by everybody. That's going to throw out our first caution of this evening.
Well, thankfully he didn't get into the wall too hard there, and I guess that gives him a little meter stick on how hard he can get into turn 3 now for the rest of the race.
Boy, that was just, a lap and a half, and a driver really on the move since that lap and a half has been Tate Lytle. Started 20th already and found himself up in the 14th position. Pit road is open this time by. I'm not really expecting anybody to visit pit road unless you're hanging out in the back of the pack, maybe. Lafferty is going to be the first driver to lead drivers on pit road. I see Nick Miller in the Hooters Chevrolet coming down pit road right now. James Duke and the number 2 of William Kruska all heading down pit road. So it's practically drivers in the back of the pack who decided to take a pit stop under this caution flag. Probably possibly just hang out in the back. Do see Race Clark in the 00. He has taken over Corey Lindsay's ride, since Corey is up there in the officials booth. So not a whole heck of a lot of racing. There was some racing here and there. There was a pretty good battle for that. I believe that was between Paul Ross and Kevin Finn at the time. Kevin Finn actually got ahead of Paul. Paul actually started 11th, and now he's currently in 10th, only gaining 1 spot since the start. Kind of looking throughout the field here, Race Clark is 17th, so 17 from first place all the way to 17th have stayed out under this caution. Everybody else in that back of the pack has pitted. Luis Salmaso definitely pitted. He's in the back of the pack here. I do believe he. I don't think he really hit anything really hard. I'm not seeing any significant damage on that number 4 car. So hopefully you can get back in this thing. It is a long race here, folks. This evening. It is 200 laps, and that's something we did not talk about at the top of the show, that this race is 200 laps long, 200 miles. The weather here today is mostly cloudy, 86 degrees. The track temperature has cooled off just a little bit, but I assume as the cars go around this track, it'll, in the middle of the corners, it will heat up. Currently right now, actually I'm showing on my graph, it is 98 degrees on track temperature. And the winds are 16 miles an hour, and that's actually a realistic weather here, folks, because here in Wisconsin we've seen some storms since probably last night, and storms did take place throughout the night, but there's no virtual storms or rain here on iRacing. We should see the one to go signal this time by Chuck Sweeting is currently leading the race after starting on the pole. Cameron Rich is in second, Peter Short in third, Levi Zielinski in fourth, Johnny Thomas running off the top 5. Yes, we do. We have the one to go signal this time by. Everybody's going to get all double filed up and ready to go. I would ask you at the top of the show, Justin, who, unless you still want to make a pick of who's going to win this race this evening.
Well, yeah, might be an easy pick here, but Chuck Sweeting is showing his hand early here, and I'm really liking how that car is driving so far. Obviously, it's early, but I'm going to have to put that 26 as the driver winning the race here tonight.
All right, I'm going to make a rule for myself here. I cannot pick the 26 since you picked the 26. I'm going to go with the guy right next to him, number 17, Cameron Rich.
That's never a bad pick, is it?
No, it's not. Here we go. Pace car's going to head down pit road. We're going to see our first restart of the evening. Here goes Chuck Sweeting. Let's see if he's going to go right away. He most certainly does.
Yes,
and we're back racing at the Milwaukee Mile.
Another good start there. Not quite as good as the initial one, but obviously still clears Cameron Rich there, and we'll try and drive away once again. Oh man, is that 3 wide back there? Almost.
Almost. It's a scander of cars right now, beginning with San Close side by side with number 48 of Nathan Velez. Sam's on the bottom. Kevin Finn's going to try to take advantage of this as well. Looks like the high line is not the way to go around here. And I do believe that was Paul Ross that wanted to secure that inside row before it was taken from him. And certainly he does get to the inside on the number 44 of Matt Hackathorn. Tate Lytle had a backup moment right there, just backed right into. I believe that was the number 88 of Rusty Webb. Car still battling back here. There's Chad Brown, playoff contending driver, trying to go for a position on Webb. That's going to be a battle for 13th position on the Speedway. Just a little bit ahead of them. I do believe Paul Ross found himself on the outside row, almost hitting the outside wall. He's under pressure from Jordan Teal as they head down to turn number 1.
I'll tell you what, I think one of us may have had to pick that 56 of Tate Lytle. He went from 20th to now 12th here since the initial restart, and he's climbing the charts pretty quickly here, and I have a feeling that we're going to be talking about him before too long. Looks like these guys are starting to settle down just a little bit throughout the field.
Just a little bit right now, and we did have a pass for the race lead here. We actually missed it. That's a shame. Usually we don't miss that. But Cameron Rich and Cameron Rich just took the lead away from Sweeting.
That might be a case of Chuck obviously probably realizing that Cam has the faster car right now, and Sam, here's the pass for the lead right here.
This is on the front straightaway with Cameron just. I mean, it was,
wow.
Yeah, to me it looked like Sweeting got tight off of turn 4 and had to check up. Otherwise, he would hit the outside wall, which allowed Cameron to take advantage of that situation.
Just the momentum difference there in general was pretty surprising there. But yeah, it looked like he got a little tight off turn 4, and it still looks like Sweeting's struggling with that at the moment.
We are on board right now with the number 22 of Peter Short, who is starting to pressure a little bit on Chuck Sweeting. Chuck Sweeting actually losing a little ground to the number 17 of Rich.
Yeah, at the moment, it's looking like Sweeting may just be good on the initial starts here and struggling a little bit as the run goes longer, but I'm sure he'll get a handle on it before too long here.
Fuel numbers here tonight is about 60 laps on a tank of fuel.
And yeah, the pit road's a little unique here as well. Right off turn 4 is going to be your entrance, basically.
Every time I take a look at turn 2, it just seems like somebody's hitting the wall, but they're not. That's just how close they're getting to the wall.
And,
well, Paul, go ahead.
I was going to say, that may poke out and get a few drivers here tonight. It looked like the 9 of Nick Miller was a little wide back there.
Seeing Paul Ross right here, he's really putting pressure here on Nathan Velez. Just hasn't been able to get around him just yet. There we go, on board with Paul. Looks like a stack of cars just ahead of him, kind of riding nose to tail. Oh, there's a spin right up front.
The 59 of Levi Zielinski around.
Caution.
Doesn't look like he has any damage. I don't know if he got the wall.
Yeah. He's got damage. He's looking like an
SK yeah. Yeah, the back looked okay, and the front's where it all is. Oh.
Same situation as Luis Salmasso, just worse.
Yeah, a lot more speed into that, and unfortunately an overcorrection entering the corner here.
Man, he really got hard in turn 3. You can actually tell. I just wonder.
Oh, man. If he didn't overcorrect, I feel like he would have been a lot better, but obviously as a driver, you're still trying to get control of that car, and unfortunately, it's going to cost him. Well.
Oh, yeah, I agree. He should have just played with the throttle just a little bit and let that thing kind of settle itself out. But, yeah, I think he could have been worried, too, that, that other drivers would have hit him.
Yeah.
But speaking of drivers, yeah, everybody's hitting the pits now.
Well, that's, Tanner, I'm sure you can agree, that's pretty typical. That you know, as a driver, you want to keep driving and try and get control of it. But obviously, it was a situation where he probably just should have let it go. And 17 going to be the first off pit road.
Chuck Sweeting losing a lot of time off of pit road here. I gotta double check on this because I think there are some cars that visit pit road that
What?
I think the 56 may have missed his pit stall, so he just kept driving down pit road. And the other driver was who? Oh, Richard Hines. Okay. They're on pit road now, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Kyle Hanshaw is still staying out, though. That's interesting. Yeah.
Hanshaw decides to stay out under this caution flag. He did pit, though, under the first caution. So, trying to gain a little track position.
Well, for Levi Zielinski, he did not go a lap down. He's currently trying to get caught up to the pace car. And Tanner, I mean, he had some extra playoff points to play with there. He had 4, but obviously this is not what you want to have happen in race number 1, is possibly put yourself in a hole here.
Yeah, that hell of a good Ford is looking like a hell of a good SK modified because he has no front bumper on that thing. I don't know how that thing is driving, but I mean, if he wants I'm seeing a lot of damage on that 56 machine, and he needs to take it easy from here on out. So, 2 cautions, 2 playoff drivers involved in both of those cautions. We have the one to go signal this time by. No driver is a lap down at the moment. Levi Zielinski's out in the back of the pack. little bit of an update on Luis Salmaso. He's only made it up to 15th after his first caution incident. So 2 playoff drivers involved. That's not a good sign for those 2 drivers at the moment. But a lot of time to try to make that up and try to get the best finish as possible. So let's reset the field here because we're going back green flag racing. Kyle Hanshaw has stayed out. He pitted under the first caution. He's the race leader. Cameron Rich, Peter Short, Johnny Thomas, and Chuck Sweeting, the top 5. Chuck Sweeting was a big loser on pit road, losing a couple positions on there. Pace car coming to the left on pit road here. It's going to be Kyle Hanshaw. Let's see if tires are a huge difference here at the Milwaukee Mile. We're back green flag racing.
Almost seemed like he spun the tires a little bit. We'll hold on to the lead here. Oh, there he goes.
Way up the hill, and that could be by design, too. To get
Someone almost upside down back there. The 63, the 9, and the 87 involved in that one. I believe the 63 of Mike Stevens went for quite a ride through the air there.
They were 3 wide entering the corner back there with the number 2, the number 8, and the number 9. Here's the replay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, by Lafferty. Ooh, do we have an onboard of the 00?
So,
also, if you
look at it.
Also, production truck, if you can get an onboard of the 56, that'd be cool.
Oh, no, the 8 initially got the 9 there. That's what turned him around, and wow, heavy contact. And now I see why you want to take an onboard of that 00, just barely missing that.
Yeah, I do want to take an onboard too if we can with the 56 after this. Watch this. This is Race Clark driving for Corey Lindsay.
It might not look that close, but it was definitely a lot closer than you would have liked it. So here's
this is the 56. This is Teddy Lytle. Watch this.
Wow.
See, I was just looking back at the replay there, and I was trying to maybe see if I could pick up some onboard camera views, and certainly we did.
Well, either Kyle Hanshaw got out of the way like he wanted to, or the tires just didn't quite stick up. Either way, he's hitting pit road here, and we'll replace those probably 16-lap-old tires there.
Well, looks like, I think Chuck Sweeting wanted to try to get a bonus point under his belt, in which he did, and decided to come down pit road now. He's in the back of the pack. So this is going to hand lead over to Peter Short in the number 22. Mike's Hard Lemonade 4 for Eisentech Enterprise. His teammates right behind him, and that's Cameron Rich. Pit road is a fairly busy place right now. Drivers getting damage repaired as much as possible. I did see Nick Miller leave. There's William Kruska on screen leaving the pit road.
Okay, he got quite a bit of rear end damage, and that too did.
That is Levi Zielinski, who is still trying to get as much damage repaired as possible to try to stay in this thing. He's still on the lead lap. Only driver 1 lap down is Mike Stevens. He's looking like an SK Modified. He's down in his pit box. He's been down there for over a minute and a half.
I guarantee you he got some required repairs after that hard of a hit.
Yeah. It's not just been the season for Mike Stevens, unfortunately. He had a pretty consistent role in the earlier of the season, but kind of went downhill from there, unfortunately for Mike. So hopefully he can get back into the into contention next race, Watkins Glen or Dover.
Yeah, it was definitely looking like like you mentioned, a strong season for the 63, but it didn't just quite work out for him. So
we should see the 1-to-go signal this time by. Peter Short is going to be leading them to the green here. Kind of been talking a little bit. Drivers who have fallen to the back, shown some incident. Looks like there's a couple drivers. That caution, I don't see any drivers who are in the playoffs that were involved in that.
No, sir, I don't believe so.
All right, we got the 1-to-go signal. We're ready to go back green flag racing here. Hopefully we get to some green flag racing in. This is our 3rd caution in the first 22 laps of this event. So here here we go, Justin. How about you? How about this, Justin? How about you bring him to the green this time?
All right. Well, give me a good show here with the two Eisentek boys up front. Peter Short up front there, along with Cameron Rich, going to lead him to the green here. Just waiting for the pace car to pull off. Should be pulling off just about now. And there it goes. Green flag is out. Peter Short is off. Almost caught Cameron Rich napping there a little bit. And it'll be the fight for second between Chuck Sweeting and Cameron Rich. Sweeting was able to get into that second spot, but Cameron Rich holding strong back there, and it almost looked like 3 wide for a second back there towards the rear of the field.
Man, look at Sweeting putting the pressure on Cameron Rich. Cameron Rich successfully defends his position, but Chuck is just not done with him yet. But he may have to be done with him for a little bit at the moment. Meanwhile, there's a pretty good battle between Paul Ross back there, and I do believe that's his teammate, Sam Close. Those two drivers are battling side-by-side for position. That's the first side-by-side battle, or was, 4 to 6 spot. Now Sam's in trouble from Nathan Velez for 8th. For 7th, excuse me.
A whole lot of side-by-side racing towards the back there. Oh, man.
Hackathorn. Was that Hackathorn that got on the binders a little bit? Got a little sideways, saved it. At least it looked like it. Dylan Hickey is battling with Luis Salmaso back there.
Yeah, I think that was the main battle I was looking at back there, and it Dylan Hickey almost looked like he kind of made an aggressive move in, which kind of made me say wow there, but looking like they're fighting there, and Luis kind of getting stuck on the high side at the moment.
Yeah, Luis is stuck, and he's surrounded by a couple playoff contending drivers, such as Hickey and Chad Brown. Now Brown wants to get underneath of Salmaso. Salmaso is going to close the door on that, so that's going to remain now single file for a little bit.
I think, the one thing that we're going to have to preach here tonight is going to be patience for these drivers. It's a long race. It's a 200-lap race, and although Luis may be back here in 13th at the moment, we know he's got a fast car and can slowly work his way back up to the front, but they got to remain patient here and don't lose your head too quickly here.
You got to have patience on a track like this. I mean, there's no option, really. Hickey now getting underneath Rusty Webb for position. That is a battle for 11th, and actually that's the first side-by-side battle on the racetrack.
And they'll remain side by side for the moment off the corner there. Surprisingly, it almost looked like Rusty Webb had more momentum down that front straightaway, but Hickey will take the position for the moment.
Despite the lack of banking, you can get a good run on the corner exit. It looks like Salmaso's going to try to take advantage of Rusty here.
Ooh, yeah, I was going to say, that didn't look like it was going to work, and boy, did Rusty overcook that corner, and he's going to pay for it on exit here.
He really paid for it indeed. He is up there in the gray area, not the preferred groove. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that banking to support him, though. But he only lost a position out of that for Luis Salmaso, which was his teammate. But right now, he still holds strong in 13th. Nothing happening up towards the front either. I am seeing a battle starting to brew up between Paul Ross and Kevin Finn. Paul thought about going forward down turn 3. Right now he still kind of remains behind the number 14 of Kevin Finn. Crown Royal Ford just ahead of him.
And how about one of those drivers we were talking about pre-race there, Johnny Thomas, with a good run at the moment, currently in 4th.
Hey, Johnny's having a great night. I mean, he started 5th, and now he's currently in the 4th spot. Been practically in the top 5 all night long, really. So it's curious to see if that first win is going to come today for Johnny. Now, you got to remember, he won a championship a few years back that got him an actual die-cast of his race car.
Yes.
And I do believe he was stronger in the playoffs than the regular season. He just came out with a bang.
Well, I guess he's going to have to hope that it's going to be the same situation here. And obviously it's pretty early tonight, but definitely showing some strength out of that 83 car here tonight.
Paul Ross still trying to find a way around Kevin Finn, has not been successful in doing so. Just trying to see if there's any other battles on the racetrack. Oh, there's a heavy-duty battle with Chad Brown back here. Chad Brown kind of in the mix of it. He's a playoff contending driver. He's trying to get underneath 56 of Lytle. Lytle's going to slam the door.
I was going to say, that seemed like a bad time to lose the nose of the race car a little bit.
Just a little bit. Oh, man, Nick Miller was a little loosey-goosey in the turn 3 there, but it looks like he's getting a good run off of the corner exit. Chad Brown trying to get around Nick. So this is all battling back here, practically 14th, 15th, and 16th. Back up towards the front. See Paul Ross. Still trying to find a way to get around Kevin Finn. Cannot do so. Nathan Velez is following closely behind. 48 car.
And now it looks like Kevin Finn starting to put some pressure on that 83 of Johnny Thomas. Slowly working his way up towards the back bumper there.
I think Paul's trying to work on that corner exit run right here.
You took the words right out of my mouth. It seemed like Paul was kind of working on something different there. He was entering about a groove up on the racetrack there into 1. And obviously you saw he got it towards the bottom there on the exit. And like you said, trying to work on corner exit speed there. Seems like it's paying off a little bit.
Tate Lytle is actually going after Dylan Hickey for position for 13th.
Yeah, this seems to be like where most of the battles are happening.
Yeah.
Here towards the back.
Yeah, these guys have been kind of all over each other since the drop and restart.
Yeah, they just really haven't been able to get away from each other. It seems been bumper to bumper ever since the green dropped.
All right, Johnny Thomas is now starting to feel the pressure from Kevin Finn, and also that pressure from behind. Oh, man, Finn, did he tap the wall?
By the way, Paul Ross is going to take advantage of that, try and get the nose in at least, but I think Kevin may have some good momentum off the corner. Here's the replay on board with the 14.
Looks like he's okay, but that wall just kind of came out of nowhere.
Just a tap.
Just a tap, yeah.
Either way, it looks like it's going to cost him a spot. Paul's still fighting pretty hard on that inside.
These cars get so close to the wall here at the Milwaukee Mile. It's insane. Paul's actually going to really dive it into turn 3 to try to take this position so he doesn't use up the tires.
And looks like Kevin going to try at least to cross over. He's got the nose in there. And it'll be side by side once again.
Paul just needs a good run on corner exit right here, but he doesn't have the banking. Actually, he does have the run. Maybe he can close the door on Kevin. He does. Now he's got to go after Johnny here, and actually he's starting to put the pressure on Johnny right now.
I thought that a hard entry into 3 was going to cost him, but obviously it pays off, and he's looking to get another position here for 4th.
If I was Paul, I wouldn't be leaving too much bottom open because Kevin Finn can just kind of come right on in and just steal that. And look at Paul. He gets a nice run. Wow. They're side by side. Johnny does not want to give the position. He wants to prefer, unless he's just going to give it to Paul right now.
I thought he was trying to get defensive there, but I think you're right. I think he may have just been trying to give the spot to Paul. I mean, only 40 laps into it. It's still pretty early.
That's still a hell of a good run there for Paul to get a good run on the corner exit of the racetrack. Now here comes Nathan Velez. He wants to try something with Johnny. Johnny's on the bottom side of the racetrack. Can I get any speed going?
Currently going the wrong way. That's going to put him to 7th for the moment, and see if he can't stop the bleeding there. Some pressure from Sam close behind him.
I do apologize if there's any interference in my background here, folks, especially if there's any kind of sirens, because I just got a notification that there's a possible tornado warning in my area.
Oh.
This Johnny Thomas battle, man, it was the biggest battle on the track. I'm just kind of scrolling through the field here. Well, yeah, I'm looking at the lap times here at the intervals here. Slowly, very slowly, Cameron is catching Peter. But Peter has been able to hang on pretty good. So is Chuck Sweeting. Chuck is only 9/10 of a second off. I mean, and only 3/10 away from the 17 of Cameron.
And, I mean, realistically, with all that battling, those top three have just kind of scooted away from fourth place Paul Ross.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go ahead with the fastest lap time at the moment. I do believe... who has the fastest lap time of the race? I think it's Peter Short. Peter Short. 29.138. His last time by. Actually, let's do it this time by. Oh, we got a little loose off of turn number 4. And this time by for Peter Short, a 30.393 compared to his fastest lap time of the race, 29.139. So over a second slower.
Well, I was going to say, that's not too big of a shocker, I think, but all of a sudden, Cam Rich is closed up and is on the back bumper of his teammate there, trying to get the lead away from Peter here.
Just got to remember, you know, you want to be out front leading the race. I understand it's your teammate you're racing, but I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't get, if I'm racing for a championship, you know, and I got to face my teammate, I would love my teammate, but man, oh man, I would have to try to go for that win as much as possible, because if you win here at the Milwaukee Mile, you don't got to worry about Watkins Glen. You don't have to worry about Dover, because if you win here tonight, you advance to the next round, which starts off at Talladega, which I think is probably the worst round.
Yeah. Tanner, I think I have an important question for you. Would you wreck your mom to win a championship?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I would definitely wreck Carlos to win a championship. He's already.
Would you wreck my mom to win a championship? Oh, caution's out. Dylan Hickey's around here on the front straightaway, and someone, yeah, just blew the motor on that 8.
Now, was that a separate incident with Lafferty? No, it was. Maybe it was. Actually, it was a separate incident, I do believe.
Oh man, I think Dylan Hickey just lost it off turn 4. Only a little tap to the wall there. What happened to... Oh my goodness, Richard!
Did he?
What in the world just happened?
Now, timeout. Did Hickey hit the wall? I don't think he did.
He just tapped it, just barely. Not enough to do anything, I don't think. You're gonna see here, everybody thankfully misses him, and just a little tap there.
Well, I tell you what, Justin, I just rewound it. He did not hit the wall. He was actually in the middle of the groove of the racetrack, and that car just snapped out on him loose and just lost it.
Oh. With Dylan Hickey, I thought you meant after the wall, or after the spin there, but yeah, let's see what happened to Richard Lafferty here. Did he?
Oh.
He had to hit some sort of... Oh my goodness. The barriers there between the pit wall and the barrier, I think he caught the gap there.
Yeah,
wow.
He did.
Oh my goodness.
He caught the gap of the wall there.
How unlucky can you be?
Because it's like 2 separate walls right there.
Yeah, you're gonna see it. Yeah, that's sticking out. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
wow.
He was having a clean race too.
Well, yeah. Car's on pit road here. Levi Zielinski looks like he's gonna stay out.
Wow, he hit the edge of that wall like perfectly too.
Peter Short gonna be the first off pit road. Cameron Rich second. Paul Ross gonna beat Chuck Sweeting off for third. I'll put Chuck back to 4th, and Kevin Finn will come off pit road 5th, but I mentioned Levi Zielinski stays out here. That's a stint of 28 laps he has on his tires, so this will be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, but he needs a bonus point, and he's coming to collect a bonus point right now for the playoffs. Just so you know, we got 50 laps away till the halfway point. Top 10 drivers will be paid bonus points. That's pretty significant. Can't forget about that. Levi's just in the position where he's like, I got to rack up as much bonus points as possible.
Yes, sir. Well, that was a good run. While we have the chance, why don't we shout out these cameras here tonight? Of course, they're brought to you by Track Cams for Gourmet. You can find more information and download the pack at www.trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams. And mentioned we saw a few people in the chat there asking about the league. Well, if you wanted to race in the league for the remainder of the season, here in the playoffs, you're going to have to get a charter, and those have been discounted a little. For the RaceKings Cup Series, it's going to be $2.24 per event to join for a charter, and for the Nathan Young Designs Truck Series, it's going to be $1.67 to join. So if you want to try some racing out, you can purchase a charter there, maybe for a race, and see if you like it. Obviously, like we said before, if you do not have a charter, you cannot participate in these playoff events, but maybe see if you like it and get joined up next season. As during that, Levi Zielinski actually went down pit road as we imagined and gets his fresh tires, and we'll get to the back of the pack. Yep. Oh, one lap to green.
I'll talk about three-wide racing here in a little while here, since we're going back green flag racing. Folks, I've been a part of this league since day one, 2011, in some way, shape, or form, and I'm going to be back racing the Cup Series next season. This is already making me want to go out there and race with these fellas, but I got to wait till next year, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I've always had fun three-wide racing. I've had my ups and downs, but that's just racing. Nonetheless, we're going to see pace car pull off of pit road here. We got Peter Short, who's on 4 fresh tires, and we're back green flag racing here at the Milwaukee Mile. If Paul can throw it in there.
Not quite. He wanted to get there, but couldn't quite do it, and that leader has not missed a restart all night. Tanner, I thought he was going to shoot for it. He almost had a door open for it, but was slotted into third.
You and I were thinking the same thing, and but nonetheless, he'll remain in the third spot. At least Sal Massel's coming back. Well, I tell you what, Richard Lafferty, if you're planning on going out to a gas station, buy a lottery ticket, or headed out to the casino, or if you're planning on leaving the racetrack here in Milwaukee and planning to go to the Potawatomi Casino, I would not go, because that was just some bad luck here tonight. Especially when you hit the wall like that, and that was like a dead hit. I mean, that was like hitting perfectly right there.
God, like you said, how unlucky can you be?
I don't know. I mean, he hit that end of the wall so perfectly, man. He might hit the jackpot.
Tell you what, Johnny Thomas getting some pressure applied to him from the 88 of Rusty Webb at the moment. That is for the 10th spot. This is on board with the 17 of Cameron Rich at the moment, currently in second.
Cameron just seems, I mean, he's able to stick. I just wonder if he's able to get around Peter. And if we got a battle for third. Chuck Sweden getting underneath Paul.
Looks like he took a look, couldn't quite.
He tried.
Yeah. And I have a feeling, Tanner, as we get later and later into the race, there's a little bump for the lead there.
I told you wreck your teammate or your mom for the championship here, because there goes Cameron. He wants to trade a little paint, get a little Mike's Hard Lemonade on his car. Cameron's like, I'll give you a little bowling. Cameron to the top spot at Milwaukee. Oh, and here comes Peter Short. Thought about maybe giving a little bumper tap there to that number 17. These are teammates, folks. Tell you what, if anybody remembers Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson at Martinsville from 2007, man, I hope we see something like that here.
Well, I was just gonna say, I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Oh, with Paul Ross and Chuck Sweeting kind of diving in for that spot, I was gonna say, I have a feeling later in the race we're gonna see a lot more of that. That kind of played in perfectly with Peter Short and Cam Rich. I have a feeling as we get later, definitely going to see a lot more bumping, especially if it's for that playoff win. Cam Rich not getting too far out in front, though, of Peter Short for the moment.
No, he's
Paul Ross not letting them get too far away as well.
Paul's been doing well. We got a battle for back here, pretty heavy battle for 14th. Nick Miller getting around Jordan Teal.
If you think that battle's good, how about just in front of that with Johnny Thomas and Nathan Velez?
It's still a mess.
Yeah. This part of the field has just been, really racy.
Nathan Velez has been hanging in the top 10 all night long here, and he's starting to lose some ground right now, but he is not a playoff contending driver. But he's still hanging up there in the top 10. Right behind him is a pair of non-playoff drivers. That is going to be between Tate Lytle and Rusty Webb. Oh, man, Tate Lytle had to back off. Otherwise, he was going to get into the 48. And here comes Rusty Webb trying to get underneath the 56 right now for 11th spot.
That's going to be tight. Tight!
Ooh, driving him up the track just a little bit. And then you got William Krusko right behind these two cats.
Well, that little move up the racetrack, well, I thought that was going to give Rusty Webb a shot, and Rusty's going to get out of line just a little bit, and this is going to cost him, I believe. Well, maybe not as bad as I thought.
Top 10 drivers kind of remain single file at the moment. Luis Salmasso has made his way back up to the 6th position after starting 3rd on today's event, so that's pretty good for Luis. A nice recovery going for Luis. Biggest battle is practically in the back of the pack back here. Nick Miller, Jordan Teal, and Race Clark. I can't believe you heard that.
Oh man.
No, that's Coors.
Oh man. Oh man.
Sorry about that. Production truck's like, hey, someone's opening up a cold one.
Who's cracking open a cold one with the boys over here? Oh man. Well, the top 5 car is kind of under a blanket for the moment. Kevin Finn not letting them get too far out in front. Oh man.
I hope it's better.
I guess we'll let you know the next time you crack one open.
That wasn't even me. That was far across the house, but nonetheless. Miller on here, he's got some damage, but he's still hanging pretty good here at the moment in 14th spot. Just ahead of him is, I do believe, is a teammate of Team Larry Miller, who Race Clark was the one back there tapping the wall too. How about Paul Ross throwing a little pressure now on the number 22 for 2nd place? Just a little bit, trying to get closer and closer. I think the closest he got to him was back in turns 1 and 2. He couldn't get side by side, obviously, but he's just been keeping tabs with him.
It's a little surprising that Cameron hasn't pulled out a little farther than Peter, and Peter almost looks like he's starting to mount a little run here.
First side-by-side battle is in the back of the pack between Jordan Teal and Race Clark. These two cats have been fighting it out drastically. They're back and forth. They're pulling slide jobs. Zigzags, you name it. Teal could not get around Clark that time but he did lose a position to Clark.
And that's almost a perfect transition. I don't know if you remember, but my Milwaukee memory here is Race Clark in the lead there, and an Eisentech driver behind him, Drew Eisenman, and gave him a little bit of a bump, and that was kind of a controversial finish. I think kind of spun Race out of the way there to get the win.
Oh man, Rusty Webb out of the groove just a little bit. But yes, I do remember that, and that happened down in turn number 1. It was a controversial win, but looking back at it now, it goes down as one of the crazy races in 3Y Racing League in the Cup Series history that's been on iRacing.
That's for sure.
For sure. Goes down in the history books.
Yeah, looking at this front battle here, on board from the back of the 17 of Cameron Rich, looking at Peter Short, but I'm really surprised that these guys haven't really increased or decreased the gap to each other these past couple laps. They've kind of just been this close ever since the drop of the green flag, it seems.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for a side-by-side battle because if that's going to happen and brew up, Paul might want to take advantage of that because he'll be in the catbird seat on that ordeal.
Oh, absolutely. As well as, I mean, Chuck Sweeting hasn't really lost touch with these guys as well. Kevin Finn's starting to lose a little bit of ground, but we might see a battle between Paul and Chuck here before too long.
Two drivers have taken it to the garage area this evening. Richard Lafferty is one of them, and Mike Steven, another driver.
And Levi saw Wreck earlier, still out there. I believe he's a lap down at the moment. Still trucking along, though. His lap times aren't too far off. The only car a lap down at the moment, and obviously not running leader times at the moment, but he's not giving up yet. And obviously, if you're in the playoffs, you can't give up that easily.
We got a little ways to go before pit stop. It seems like we're on a long range like a run right now, but realistically, we're not. It's only been 21 laps, and the fuel window is about, what, 60 laps?
So, realistically, if we don't get another caution, probably the next 40 laps or so.
Got 30 laps to go until we hit that halfway point. That's going to be some important points right there. I know a lot of these playoffs.
Oh,
we got a caution.
cautions.
He just jinxed it.
Yeah.
William Kruska, number 2, is having a phenomenal run. He was 12th last time by after starting 22nd.
See what happened here. I think probably, yeah, I kind of saw him do the same thing in practice earlier. Just loose off turn 2. It looked like he hit the inside wall too hard, though, so.
No, it's minimum damage. I mean, he's got some right rear damage. Not sure where that came from. But it looks like I have some just contact from earlier, though. But just loose off of turn 2.
I guess I should keep my big mouth shut about cautions, huh?
Yeah, I was talking about it, too.
Called that one perfectly. Well, no surprise. It looks like everybody's going to hit pit road here.
Everybody hitting the pits right now. Cameron Rich leads them down. And I do believe this will be a 4-tire pit stop for everybody. Levi Zielinski is going to receive the lucky dog under this affair.
And I have a feeling, based on his last pit stop, he may have fixed all the damage he can on that 59.
He's pit... Oh, 48. Nathan Velez overshot his pit stall. And coming on pit road, number 17.
Wow.
He's going to win the race off pit road along with the 22.
The big loser and all that's going to be Paul Ross. He loses 2 spots.
He did.
Chuck Sweeting and Kevin Finn going to get a spot from Paul there. He's going to drop back to 5th.
James Duke has stayed out under this caution flag.
Our producer's pick there, up at the front. I think he's going to try.
Well, I tell you what, Carlos's pick may come true here tonight. We'll have to see. He's been on the lead lap. He's found a little trouble here and there, but the Whataburger Chevrolet is still kind of running strong out there. He wants to pick up a bonus point for leading a lap. He's still hanging strong.
That's a lot of damage.
It is, but he's still hanging strong. Don't worry, we'll have a new damage model on iRacing. # soon.
Yeah. Hopefully we get this Camaro this upcoming week or two.
Oh, dude, there's so much stuff that's coming on in iRacing. Day to night transitions. Any of you fellas see the video of that?
Oh, yeah. I can tell you the one thing I don't look forward to, though, is having to remake my schemes for the Camaro. It's gonna be...
Yeah, same here, but I just can't believe that there's actually a day to night transition at Michigan. So if that's the case, tracks without lights, such as here in Milwaukee, can have day to night transitions. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah. He's still staying. All right, well.
He's going to get freight train, unfortunately, because he's got a bunch of fast drivers right behind him. But
the lights are out on the pace car.
Lights are out, and he's going to elect the outside row. Probably a wise. Well, and I do want to comment earlier. We were some people in the chat were talking about 3Y Racing League and about the league. Yeah, this is a fun league. I've been a part of this league since day one, 2011, man, and I've been participating in so many series: Cup Series, B-Car Series, Truck Series. That we had a late model series at one point, super late models, and I mean, it's just a great league to be a part of. Some respectable drivers. I like this league because I know these drivers, and it's like walking into every single week you're racing against the same drivers. Unlike when you go on iRacing and official races, you don't know those drivers. So this is it's a very comfortable setting here at 3 Wide. But here we go. James Duke's going to get on a loud pedal as he's 25 laps on old tires. Let's see how well it works out.
Wow.
And no, it ain't going to work out. It's not going to work out at all.
No, that really jacked up that whole outside row and going to just let everybody by. Kind of curious why he stayed out if he was just going to let everybody by, but...
Now, on top of that, people are wondering, well, how people just can't just pass them on the restart like that. You cannot change lanes in this series before the start-finish line. That is a rule, and we have officials watching that. If you do, that's a black flag. So that's very unfortunate for drivers who start on the outside row. They're going to slip back a couple of positions. Cameron Rich, meanwhile, still leads the race. Peter Short in second. Kevin Finn in third. And fourth place, Chuck Sweeting. Luis Salmasso running off the top five.
Race Clark challenging Tate Lytle at the moment. That's for the 9th spot. Gonna get to the inside. I know Race has some good speed here at this track. We mentioned earlier, almost had a win secured and slowly working his way up towards the front. Gonna take the 9th position away and try and work at Matt Hackathorn for 8th.
Tate Lytle in that 56 has found success here in the 3 Racing League, just not in the Cup Series. However, he's found stuff in the truck. Oh, he's won. Oh yeah, he has won in the Cup Series. Excuse me.
How can you forget the most exciting race of the season at Indianapolis?
Oh,
man, Hackathorn really just about lost it. Out of 4 there. Was sliding that car sideways.
Good save, good save.
That was an absolutely good save.
I was thinking about this wink wink.
So, yeah, that's a heck of a good save right there. But he's being challenged right now by the 00 Race Clark we were just talking about. Race shoved. Yeah, 56 and the 44 get kind of shoved out of line there. 3 wide, how about that?
Johnny's got to go for it, man. He's a playoff driver. He knows what he's got to do. He's going to try to get down into turn 1. Door Mike goes on. Don't pull Richard. Oh. Okay, we're good.
Such excitement. Yeah, Johnny, talking about Indianapolis, Johnny was actually part of that 4 wide battle there at the on the backstretch at Indy. Oh man, Matt Hackathorn out of line once again. Didn't look like he was as sideways as before, but definitely out of line there, and Tate Lytle going to take advantage.
Man, these guys are... Paul Ross just went to 5th place, passing his teammates Salmasso, but the biggest battle is practically back here. Tate Lytle on back. That's 8th on back, folks. Lytle, Hackathorn, Clark, Johnny Thomas is in the 83 back there.
Hackathorn taking another look at the 56. Oh, and turns him!
Contact!
They save it!
Oh! Johnny! No!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
Oh, watch out.
We're still trouble. We're still wrecking.
Haven't got through the woods yet.
Hey, Brown! Oh, we really got to go back on.
Oh, contact with Chad Brown, and he's gonna save it. That's giving some good damage to the 64 Chad Brown. Man, what just happened?
I mean, that was like 3-4 incidents. Like, holy moly.
So this is turn 2. I believe it's all going to go down in turn number 3 here. So you're looking at the 56 and the 44 just out in front right there. Some contact between the 44.
One went wide in, the other one went low in.
How about Race Clark taking it through the middle there? Johnny goes through the grass.
3 wide, Nick Miller in the middle.
They somehow all save it, though, and then you can see Johnny in a little bit more trouble there. And Chad Brown, wow.
Brown, that car just stepped out.
Went on the slip and slide there.
Oh, Oh,
and then contact right there.
Rusty Webb was going through the grass to avoid that. He tried to come up on the racetrack. Oh,
All right.
Mamma mia.
Have we all caught our breath yet?
All right, let's reset that right now here. After that, all that debacle that was going on, drivers that were involved in that, Matt Hackathorn, he remains in 8th. Race Clark is in 9th. Those two drivers were first to make contact. And then you got Nick Miller, who's in 10th place. Tate Lytle's in 11th. Jordan Teal right now is under attack from Johnny Thomas. Johnny was just trying to avoid everything, every nook and cranny right there. Lost a lot of spots, and Johnny just doesn't look like he has the same car as he did earlier, because remember, Johnny was in that top 5.
Well, the best thing for Johnny right there, though, he got no damage, wasn't really involved in that. And obviously he'll have to work his way up through the field again, but it could have been a lot worse for... Oh, Nick Miller!
Oh, Nick.
Real loose off turn number 3. He's going to dive it in? Oh, my goodness. I didn't think he was going to try it, but makes it stick. And Tate Lytle going to cross under here. Takes it to turn 2. So he gets real loose off turn 4 there. And take a look at that. So he's going to get loose off 4.
I do believe Nick Miller does live near or in the Milwaukee area. I know he's a Wisconsin guy, that's for sure, and I'm a Wisconsin guy. There's another driver in 3Y named Brent. He's also from Wisconsin, but he's not participating in this tonight's event.
So back up front there. Oh. William Kruska and Jordan Teal, a little bit of contact in the back there.
Man, all the action's in the back of the pack, and there's more action. Tate Lytle and Clark going at it again. What's going to happen here? Clark getting way out of groove.
And Nick Miller going to try for another spot here.
Why not?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that first one worked. Obviously, he didn't keep the position there. Tate Lytle got back by, but... Oh. Okay, I thought William Kruska was going to slide up the track, but no, it's going to be Race Clark who goes wide here.
Yeah, Clark's been in trouble, at least that entire lap right there. Getting passed by everybody.
Yeah, he's going to try and slot in. Looks like he'll take the position ahead of Johnny Thomas for the moment, and he goes back to 11th.
Oh, it's about time I can catch my breath just a little bit, because there's a lot of action. That's practically, realistically, from Tate Lytle on back. I do believe Matt Hackathorn slapped the wall. The 9, Nick Miller slapped the wall off turn 4. Race Clark wide again. He's been in trouble. Oh, he may have just found the wall. He's getting passed by Johnny Thomas now. Soon to be William Kruska.
Yeah, I'd race. I don't know what's going on with that car, but just like Johnny Thomas, that car is not the same as it was before.
Well,
I don't know if he's maybe worn off his tires a little bit here, and
I don't see any significant damage on Race Clark's car to have evidence that the toe is knocked out or anything like that. There is some damage here and there, but it's not significant. Johnny Thomas is now back up to 11th place, but hopefully he can get back into the top 5 before this thing's done. We do got 10 laps to go, 9 laps to go right now until the halfway point. Cameron Rich has actually now caught James Duke, who decided to stay out under this last caution and has yet to visit pit road. He's going lap down right now.
I thought Peter was gonna take it into James's line there, but oh man, I think Cameron got a little wide there, and Peter's gonna be all over it. He's gonna.
There we go.
There he goes.
Down in turn number 1 and 2. There goes Peter Short for pass for the lead.
And I thought Cameron was going to be able to cross under him, but didn't quite get as good of into the corner as I think he wanted to. And with 8 laps to go, coming to 7 here until the halfway point, I'm sure that was not the opportune time for Cameron to lose the lead there.
He got a little loose there, but he still hangs on to the race lead. He's got about 5 laps until the halfway point. I think that was a long time to give it up because that's full bonus points right there. And when they come across the line, I'll name the top 10. That'll get bonus points. And remember, folks, bonus points is from first place. Whoever wins or passes the halfway point first gets 10 bonus points. Well, then it decreases down to 9. Levi Zielinski's hitting pit road. He's had his fair share of trouble tonight.
Yeah, I don't think that was an expected stop. That would be pretty short there, but...
These pit boxes are very small, too. Smaller than your average pit box, too. So it's kind of hard to really hit your mark because the pit boxes are so tight together. Five to go right now, actually, for until the halfway point. There's no cautions, folks. We don't stop the race for you just because the halfway bonus points. That is something I like about 3-wide racing, folks, is that the race does not stop.
Well, for the moment, it looks like Peter might be able to clinch this, but we've seen that later into...
Oh, we got a spinner?
William Pruska, I think it was, got out of line there. Real wide out of 3.
Production truck got me jumping there.
For once got me as well.
Well, everybody's kind of fanned out right now here, Justin. Nobody's really racing hard back and forth. Johnny Thomas might be a disappointing driver. He has 3 laps right now to catch Nick Miller to get that at least a bonus point for the top 10 bonuses. He's right in front of him. That would be the biggest battle on track, in my opinion, just because so Johnny can get in there. You're riding on board right now with Chuck Sweeting, who is just ahead of him is Kevin Finn. Sweeting is currently in the 4th spot. Yeah, actually, let's do it after the halfway because I'm gonna call who gets points at the halfway point here. We got 2 laps to do it here. Then we can probably pull up the league owner, Corey Lindsay, kind of talk to him a little bit about 3-wide and everything we've experienced this season. So here we go, the white flag lap for the halfway bonus. But again, the caution does not come out. And it does not end the race. Just means we are halfway, and the top 10 drivers get bonus points. Peter Short looks like he is going to clinch this. That's very unfortunate for Cameron Rich. I bet he still wanted to get that full bonus point like he did practically all season long. Nonetheless, down in turns 3 and 4, Peter Short is going to collect 10 bonus points right off the bat here for the first playoff race of the RaceKings Cup Series in 2018. Peter Short gets it. 9 points. Cameron Rich, 8 points. Kevin Finn, 7 points. Chuck Sweeting, 6 points. Paul Ross, 5 points goes to Luis Salmasso. 4 points goes to Samuel Close. 3 points goes to Matt Hackathorn. 2 points goes to Tate Lytle. And guess what? Johnny Thomas got by Nick Miller, so that's a bonus point for Johnny.
Just in the nick of time, too.
Let's pull up Corey Lindsay. Corey Lindsay, you got a copy.
Howdy.
Hey, Corey, we've seen a great race so far, despite the early cautions. Some good old racing, especially in the back of the pack. Tell me, you've been sitting up there in the officials booth after kind of retiring your ride for the remainder of the season to be up there. What kind of are you seeing the same great racing that we're seeing up here in the booth?
Yeah, we're seeing some good racing. We're seeing some guys that are having trouble with a loose car, I guess. But yeah, overall it's been good. Been fairly tight throughout the field. Peter and Cam, they got a little bit of a gap, but everyone else seems to be hanging tight with each other pretty well. That's what we like to see here.
Most certainly is. We seen what was going through your mind, because I know that was your 00 car of Race Clark. that was making contact with Hackathorn, and everybody was kind of like all over the place. And then you had another car, which was one of your teammates, Nick Miller, in that debacle. What was going through your mind at that time?
I must have missed that one. I don't know what you're talking about. You're scaring me now. We watching the same race?
Yeah, we were. We definitely were. But nonetheless, Corey, you got I always told you, even on Twitter, you got a phenomenal schedule here. What's throughout this whole 2018 as a whole? What has really stuck out to you the most?
I don't know. I think you keep building on what you have. I mean, we keep having guys showing up every week and looking from last year in Milwaukee to this year to Milwaukee. We had 24 cars start tonight. Last year, I think we only had 18. So we got a little bit more to build off of, and I think that's awesome.
Justin, do you have anything for Corey?
Well, as usual, from the start of Daytona to this first playoff race here at Milwaukee, it's been a fantastic season. I know the first part of the season you were in the driver's seat, but how would you assess the driving we've seen so far? Obviously, you're the first playoff race, but the regular season, how would you assess the racing there?
For tonight, I think it's about what we'd expect. Some guys just losing it a little bit, but season overall, I think we've seen quite an improvement from what we've seen last year. I think the rules package is good with some new things we got with the 2 and done and stuff like that. Looking forward, we're gonna have myself in the booth. So not the booth, but the officiating role. But I think we'll have a lot of things to come that'll be really fun looking into Homestead.
All right, I don't have anything more else unless you do, Justin, for Corey.
Well, as always, just it's been a fantastic season, and I can't wait to see how this plays off as we go into Homestead here.
Y'all have air conditioning over there?
Thankfully.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
thankfully.
I'm missing out on that.
The only difference is it's storming on the outside, but it's cool on the inside.
Yeah, it's always hot over here.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate everything you've been doing this year.
Hopefully, we've put on a great show for you, Corey. For not just for League itself, but for its drivers, for all the race fans that watch us. It's been an honor.
Oh, thanks for coming on board and doing this. Looking forward to seeing you in the seat next year.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Right now, I had told Justin, hey, I'm just watching these guys. I want to be out there racing with these guys, but I got to wait till next year to do it. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, thanks, guys.
That was Corey Lindsay, folks, who stepped down from the driver's seat to up to the officiating booth. So that's awfully nice of Corey.
Yeah, one thing we do have to update you on, during that, Levi Zielinski has stayed in pit road, and at this point will have to be done. He is 16 laps down, and I believe it was the 6th lap rule here tonight, or was it the 11th?
It's a 6 laps. Yeah, it's a 6-lap rule. Let's go ahead, maybe pull him up since there's not a whole lot of racing action going on. And Levi Zielinski, do you got a copy?
Yeah.
Levi, just by the sound of your voice, it doesn't sound too good. It sounds like disappointment. But nonetheless, we got 2 races left of the first round. I bet you were expecting a great finish tonight to try to get a little bit of leeway of walking to Glen and Dover, but something's going to have to happen at the Glen and Dover. Tell me about it, man. What happened tonight?
Yeah, just braking issues. Kind of feel a little bit around with braking bias. Probably went a little bit on the low side, just because it was a little bit faster, but at the risk of it being wrecking loose. So I ended up doing the same thing Luis did. I couldn't tell where I would have spun the car, so I just decided to hit the wall and not take out the field, because I think the way the car was going to go would have been wrecked right into the field. So I took the easier route and just took myself out.
It could have been, I was thinking about the same thing, because it just seemed like you overcorrected it, which was the true case, but at the same time you didn't want to go down right in front of somebody and just kind of wreck them in their day. So it may have been a wiser thing, but that's very unfortunate for you there, Levi. Hey, let's look ahead a little bit here. You got Watkins, Glen, and Dover coming up. What do you got to do to try to stay in this thing, to be a part of the 9-driver playoff format that's going to happen at Talladega? What's next for Levi, Watkins, Glen, and Dover?
As long as we do decent at Watkins Glen, we'll be fine. I'm just hoping for a top 10 there, honestly. I think if we could do that, I think we'll get past some of the guys that aren't that great at road racing that are in the chase right now. And then Dover's actually been a track I've been getting better at, so I feel pretty comfortable in that. Hopefully we can bring home another like top 5 or top 10 there, and hopefully squeak into the playoffs. It'll be a tough route to go, just because we have Dylan Hickey, Chad, Haggathorn. That will probably be down there, I would assume. So it's gonna be a little bit tougher to do, but hopefully we can bring it home and do something.
All right, Justin, do you have anything for Levi?
Well, yeah, Tanner kind of mentioned it already, but we know this is your final season, so obviously I'm sure you were hoping that you could have got through here tonight and, had an easy road to the next round. Obviously, that's unfortunately not what happened here tonight, but should you make it into the next round, what tracks are you looking forward to there?
Honestly, I haven't really looked ahead, just because I'm trying to focus on what it is now. But Dago definitely be one that would be a fun one, just to kind of maybe squeak by and hopefully get a win out of it. I mean, anything can happen there. Kind of want to redeem myself at these play tracks for my final couple races, just because we haven't had the greatest road or plate racing in the last few years. So hopefully we can do that.
All right. Well, obviously we know it was a tough one here tonight, but we wish you the best of luck these next 2 races and hoping you can make it into the next one.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for taking me in and taking the time. Great job up here tonight, guys.
You heard it from himself, Levi Zielinski, who's actually has to take it to the garage tonight. Cannot continue, unfortunately. So hopefully he'll have the better luck, I do believe, on September 10th, which is in 2 weeks' time at Watkins Glen International. Well, oh man, we got a car going up the hill. Who is that? That's Lytle. 56, Tate Lytle, way up the hill. He looks like he's all right. But let's go ahead, maybe go through the top 10 of the field here. We haven't really talked about the race too much. We've kind of been talking with drivers here since there hasn't been a lot of battling going on. Right now, Peter Short, who started 4th, currently in the race lead. He led the halfway point. Now he's just hoping to bring it home for the checker and advance to the next round of the playoffs. Peter Short doing an excellent job. He's got about a 2-second lead over Cameron Rich. Now, Cameron Rich thought he had one of the top cars here this evening, but right now it just seems like Peter Short is actually a better car than Cameron. But Cameron right now currently in 2nd, started 2nd. And has led a few laps here tonight, but remains in the top 5. Chuck Sweeting, we thought would be a good dominant car, but he still remains in the top 5 after starting on the pole. Now, Chuck has had a couple of wins this season. He's got about 3 wins notched up, and he's hoping to get out of Milwaukee with a good, solid finish, maybe a win. So Chuck Sweeting, a good, consistent driver for this evening's festivities. Kevin Finn, after starting in 10th place, has found himself up and down the leaderboard and hit the wall at times, but he's still in the 4th spot in that Crown Royal Ford. He is one of the playoff contending drivers, and realistically, he's been quiet all season, but I don't think he has visited victory lane just yet. So Kevin Finn, so far, currently remains in the 4th spot. 3OG driver Paul Ross is in the 5th spot right now after starting 11th. He's been kind of up and down the leaderboard, but mainly been in the top 10 all race long. He has a pair of wins, 3 wins on the season for Paul, but he's still trying to get that Cup championship back on his throne. He has not seen a Cup championship since the console days, but here on iRacing, he's found some struggles, but although he's been one of the most consistent drivers on the season, and as well racking up 3 wins, he currently remains in the 5th spot. Luis Salmaso, another 3OG driver who's found trouble earlier in the race on lap 2, and almost finds trouble right there with James Duke almost hitting him in the rear of the car, and actually Salmaso gets loose off of turn 2 as well. Nonetheless, Salmaso has rebounded after a lap 2 incident, and he's found himself back up there in the 6th position. So it's a very nice recovery for Luis. Matt Hackathorn has found trouble here and there, almost wrecking it with Race Clark earlier, but he still remains in the 7th position, just kind of, riding his own race at the moment. Been very quiet. He is a playoff contending driver, and he's hoping to come out here with a good finish despite the ups and downs of this race. Samuel Close in 8th place has had a very quiet night. We have not really talked about Sam really all night long, but he's one of the most, as he gets really loose off turn 2, he's been one of the most consistent drivers in the entire season, aside from Johnny Thomas. Sam just needs that win. That win has been eluding him all season long. Hopefully it can happen tonight, and hopefully it can happen before the season is actually over. Samuel Close started 8th and currently remains in 8th place. Johnny Thomas has seen the top 5 spot, and on top of that, he's fallen back as far. Oh, we got Peter Short hitting pit road right now, so we got to interrupt. We have an interruption. Peter Short hitting the pits. Actually, he is already off pit road after making a pit stop.
It's about where I think we thought we'd see them, maybe about 10 laps shorter. It's about lap 52 they're into this run, so a little early, but around the mark we thought.
It might be a little tick to her. Maybe not, because, Cameron, they got 8 laps to go until that lap 60 mark.
See Jordan Teal on pit road as well.
Jordan Teal was basically outside the top 10. Trying to see here throughout the field if anybody else is kind of coming. Everybody else is kind of just fanned out. Tate Lytle hitting pit road. He's found an up and down race this evening, and now he's hitting the pits. 4 tires are going to go on Tate Lytle's car right now. Usually Tate's pretty fast no matter where he goes, but tonight he just doesn't have the speed of drivers like the Eisentech Enterprises, the 3OGs, the Chuck Sweetings. Let's see, anybody else in pits? No. Oh, Dylan Hickey, the hitting pit road, playoff contending driver, a rookie on the season. Oh, I was going to say, I thought he'd overdrove his pit box, but maybe not. Right side's going up on Dylan Hickey. Seeing if anybody else is hitting the pits.
I think you guys were right. I think Peter may have been a little too early there. Obviously, we hadn't had a green flag run yet to kind of gauge when these guys would be coming in.
Okay, I agree with you there, Justin, right now, because you would have to make another pit stop if this stays green.
Yes, because they'd be off by about 10 laps, I think, and you probably wouldn't be able to save 10 laps. That'd be, I think, a little bit of a miracle there. 5 laps, maybe, but you'd have to start saving pretty early, I'd have to say.
Kevin Finn is being pressured right now by Paul Ross. Just a little bit. Paul has actually caught Kevin, just cannot get around him. This is coming off turn number 4 right now. Let's see what Paul can do. If he's going to try to work on Kevin. Right ahead of Kevin is not for position. That's Rusty Webb, who is currently in 14th, 1 lap down. Peter Short, actually, I do believe, is he back on the lead lap? Just past Thomas for position. But the crazy thing about this is that, yeah, Peter Short, that might be a little early. The tire advantage he's going to gain. He's going to gain a lot of time on there on the racetrack. Pit road speed limit is, I think it's 45 miles an hour. Yes, it is.
Who's that hitting
and
pit road?
Krusko's hitting pits.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it's going to help him on tires, but obviously he's not going to be able to run quite as long. But, you know, it might not even matter. We might have another caution here before the end of the race that kind of shuffles everything around anyways, so.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I'm sure we'll get a caution. I'm pretty sure of it. Again, I can be wrong on that. Although we've seen some green, this is the longest green flag run of the night. I forgot even how long this green flag run is. 60 laps, according to what I'm hearing.
Yeah, Cameron Rich about to take lap 60 here, so. From what our sources told us, that's about how long they can run, but I think we may see a little bit longer here.
I'm not... Kruska's still on pit road. He's getting damage repairs right now, so we ain't got to worry about Kruska at the moment. Well, 11 cars on the lead lap. 15 cars still have yet to visit pit road, and we are hitting lap 60 at the moment. Peter Short is picking them up and picking them down. He's currently in 6th place.
Oh, he's...
Let's compare lap times here between Peter Short and Cameron Rich. Peter Short, where are you, buddy? All right, there you go. Hackathorn to the pits. Peter Short's last lap time, 29.843. Cameron Rich, 31.150.
Oh, now we have Cameron Rich on pit road here.
Here we go.
So about 61. All right.
Chuck Sweeting, new leader.
This is about what we thought. Hackathorn, you can see there pulling off pit road.
Sam Close. Nope, not yet. Johnny Thomas on pit road.
Richard Hines as well coming in.
Hines is in, waiting for Sweeting and Ross to come in.
Paul Ross coming in now, as
right.
well as it looked like Rusty Webb.
Sweeting stays out. Samassel stays out.
I wonder. I think Sweeting may try and cut this in half, realistically. 65 laps to go. He's about to take lap 64. I think he's going to try and gamble this.
And we've seen him do this before, too, and that's how he got one of his wins. I forgot where it was, but...
Yeah, I believe it was Michigan. And obviously, like you said, no stranger. And what? Luis Amasso in pit road. Why not gamble? I mean, obviously, this is an important race, but if you don't, I mean, realistically, I don't think you're going to beat the two Eisentech guys up there, so I like this.
Sam Close and Chad Brown hitting pit road. Now, the only three drivers left on the racetrack have yet to pit. Chuck Sweeting, Race Clark, Nick Miller, all have yet to make a pit stop. Sweeting still stays out there.
So realistically, at this point, Sweeting can make it to the end. It's just going to be the question of if you can make all this track position back up. Because obviously, the longer you stay out here, these guys have fresher tires. That's the more track position you're losing. Peter Short.
He's coming in.
All right.
65 laps.
But he's going to have to hope that works out for him at this point. Peter Short just went by there. So he shouldn't... See. Yeah.
I'm just curious what the gap is going to be between Rich and Short.
Oh, that's almost the entire... Well, maybe half the racetrack there, it looks like.
Race Clark hits pit road. Nick Miller stays out. Nick Miller has been the longest to make it on field so far. It's 66 laps.
Yeah, it's quite the gap that Peter Short has put on Cameron Rich, but obviously Peter Short on 16-lap old tires where Cameron's only on 4, so realistically he should be able to close this gap up pretty quickly.
15 seconds, that's a huge gap though. So, nonetheless, now if the caution comes out, it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Nick Miller finally calls it quits into the pits.
Race Clark exiting right now.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and read off the top 10 after green flag pit stops here. Peter Short leads by about 14.5 seconds now over Cameron Rich. Kevin Finn in 3rd. Chuck Sweeting is in 4th. Paul Ross is in 5th. Luis Salmaso is in 6th. 7th place, Matt Hackathorn. 8th place, Tate Lytle. 9th place is Dylan Hickey. Running out the top 10, Sam Close. And actually, I'm only counting 5 cars right now on the lead lap. Salmaso is the first car 1 lap down in 6th. Did you say Rusty Wallace?
Yeah, he sure did.
Rusty Webb has brought it to the garage, and William Kruska has also brought it to the garage.
As well as Nathan Velez, well, we already mentioned it. Levi Zielinski, Richard Lafferty, and Mike Stevens have all called it quits as well. It leaves 18 cars on the track at the moment, and as you mentioned, only 5 cars on the lead lap.
Production truck called Rusty Webb, Rusty Wallace.
Just saw in the chat what happened to Levi. He unfortunately, earlier in the race, maybe around lap 20 or so, lap 30, got loose entering turn 3, and unfortunately overcorrected and hard into the inside wall, or outside wall, and never could quite recover from it, it looked like.
Third place is up for grabs right now. Chuck Sweeting, who was one of the drivers who actually was one of the later pit stop guys. He takes it by Kevin Finn. And you're right there, Justin. Levi Zielinski, he overcorrected it into the outside wall instead of coming down and wrecking other drivers. And it was too badly enough to where he couldn't continue anymore. And he's going to have to really try to pull it out of Watkins Glen or Dover to try to make that second round. Well, Justin, let's talk about drivers who we think can make it to the end.
Yeah, well, we know Chuck Sweeting is one. He basically cut that run in half. Went about 65 laps at 63 laps to go. So he can definitely make it to the end, we believe. As well as Race Clark, who had just exited the pits a while ago. We know he can make it as well. And I believe that's about it on the guaranteed can make it to the end.
Yeah. Realistically, I think majority of the field can make it, with the exception of probably Peter Short. I thought that was a little too early. The only reason why I'm saying that is because the longest we've seen a driver out there was 66 laps, and that was Nick Miller.
So he can make it as well. Back in 15th lap down, though, unfortunately, where it really looked like Chuck Sweeting got lucky. He's made him about 4 seconds on Peter Short, and is currently 3rd, still on the lead lap. So, mentioned before, gaining quite a bit of time on Peter Short, but not a real surprise there, as Peter is on 10 lap older tires than the rest who came down at lap 60. But, he's put about a straightaway lead on the 17 of Cameron Rich.
Take a drink every time someone says realistically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to need a drink after this race. How about Salmaso is trying to pass Peter Short to get back on the lead lap? Now, there is a tire difference. Salmaso's got the fresher tires than Peter Short. Trying to unlap himself here. Do it the old-fashioned way for Salmaso. We are on board with him.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. We got about... We should be seeing 50 laps to go here.
Yeah. I think at this point, Peter's probably going to have to hope for the yellow flag, because I don't believe... obviously, Cameron Rich is catching him, but I don't believe he can make it to the end. That's asking quite a lot, so...
I'm sorry, I'm doing fuel numbers right now here, believe it or not. I'd say right now, since we're on lap 150, we're going to have 50 laps to go. If you can pull off 15 laps, so Anybody
Wow.
that's like 15 laps or greater will have a difficult time making it. I think the ones on the bubble is Cameron Rich. He pitted 16 laps ago as the race leader just came across the start-finish line with 50 to go mark. That was 16 laps ago. You're talking right now, that's about 66 laps. You're kind of banking on making it right there.
Which we have seen, so
Yeah.
it's not.
Okay. For sure, Peter Short, I don't think can make it. I don't think Tate Lytle can make it. I don't think Dylan Hickey can make it. I don't think Jordan Teal can make it. I think if everybody just kind of plays it conservatively, they can make it. That's majority of the top 10.
It's going to be become quite the interesting race as we get into the closing laps here, it appears. Well, Luis Almaso just unlapped himself, got by the 22 of Peter Short. That'll put 6 cars now on the lead lap. That'll leave Matt Hagthorne the first 1 lap down. The gap to the lead from Cameron Rich has been closed down to about 10 seconds now.
He's catching, just a matter of when.
Chuck Sweeting is took a good chunk out as well, only about 18 seconds back now. So
Sam Close, did he pass the 17?
He just did, yes.
Actually, 17 of Rich is going by close.
Yeah.
Sorry to say this, but you're going to need a caution for a lot of these guys to be saved. Johnny Thomas, Sam
someone
Close,
just
one of them.
hit the wall.
Who was that?
I think it was off turn 2. I'm not quite sure the number.
Well, nonetheless, Peter Short still. This race has really calmed down from the beginning, huh, Justin?
It sure has. It started out pretty wild with a lot of yellows and a lot of short runs, but now we've gone into our longest green flag run here, it appears. So.
Who?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say.
I was just about to say no. Wait. Peter Short in the pits. He just called it, saying, "Man, I can't make it. I gotta come in." So he's gonna have to give up the race lead.
Well, even with 44 to go, you're not gonna win the race with that. But I think you're gonna.
Don't speed.
Yeah. Make it worse.
14.7 seconds for Peter Short. He's made his bet. He's made his final pit stop of the evening. So that's going to put Cameron Rich up towards the frontier. It did put a couple cars back on the lead lap. I do believe 7 cars now. Nope, 8 cars are now back on the lead lap. Johnny Thomas is on the tail end of that, so if caution does come out, Sam Close will be the recipient like a dog, and James Duke just hit the pit road. Hackathorn's hitting pit road. Maybe these drivers are saying, man, I don't think I can make it now. I think Chuck Sweeting's the one that's definitely going to make it. I think, believe it or not, I think Cameron Rich will be okay. Actually,
well, I mean,
yeah.
Even if he's okay, Chuck Sweeting is still catching that 17, so either way, Cameron Rich is going to have a fight on his hands, whether it's going to be fuel mileage or that's 26 car.
Well, he's got a fight on his hands right now because he's got Sam Close coming up to him.
So Chuck Sweeting took about, it looked like 2 seconds out of the gap between him and Cameron Rich. It was about 9 seconds a couple laps ago. Now it's closed down to 5.5. It's on board the 5 of Sam Close there, looking back at the leader.
Well, Cameron's just trying to win a championship. Pretty wide. He's came close in this series, but even though he's got a strong, fast car every single season, just doesn't mean you're going to win the championship. But right now he's still showing his strength out there, and he's shown it all season long. And I don't expect him to let it up. Kevin Finn hits pit road.
Yeah, just to your point, you can go to Homestead thinking you have the championship locked up and then get wrecked by Carlos Acosta. So, oh, I had to get that jab in.
It's happened to me. It's happened to me
Yeah.
already.
That gap is still closing pretty quickly between Chuck Sweeting and Cameron Rich. It's about 3.5 seconds now.
Man, Chuck's coming, man. Chuck doesn't even have to pit anymore. That may have been a winning call.
I feel like he almost made his bed in a way staying out that long, but I mean, he really didn't lose a whole lot, so.
Just think, we got 38 laps remaining. That is plenty of time for Sweeting to catch Cameron Finn. And that lead is decreasing. It's now down to 2.5 seconds. Sweeting's just looking at the lap times. He's a second faster.
I'm thinking that might be Cameron Rich in a little bit of conservative mode. Maybe trying to make sure he can make it to the end. Could be wrong, but
he's cutting the engine off.
Yep, he's clutching it.
That's not just a clutch. That's actually clutching it and turning the engine off, turning it back on, unclutching it. He's saving gas in aggressive mode here, folks. Cameron Rich, dominant car of the season, is on heavy fuel-saving mode, trying to make it and win this race.
At this point, Chuck Sweeting is basically there, 1.5 seconds behind now.
Sweeting's around traffic, though, at the moment, which is going to slow him down a little bit. But nonetheless, he is still coming. Sweeting's just got to get by Jordan Teal. Then he's got to get by Kevin Finn. Then, Cameron Rich loose. Hardcore loose. Not good for Rich, even though he's trying to save fuel. He's multitasking in that number 17 pulling forward.
My question is going to be, well, that 26 is here now, whether he was going to pick up the pace or not. And, yeah, he's there. He's about to take this lead over, I believe.
I don't even know if Cameron realizes that Sweeting can make it to the end. I'm not seeing in this corner, turn 3 and 4, Cameron Rich is not saving fuel. He's just being aggressive now. I think he realizes that now. I'm sorry, Justin, interrupting you.
No, I was going to say, you're exactly right, though. He's, at this point, you really can't save fuel that aggressively, but I think he was...
Deal!
All the way to the apron there. But I think that may have been why Chuck Sweeting was able to catch him so quickly, was he was in aggressive fuel-saving mode. If he was saving that early, I think he's going to be good to the end.
Knock, knock, knock. Here I come, Sweeting, man. Fresh tires can make it to the end. Challenging Rich for the top spot. Don't look back, though.
Wow.
Look who's 4.5 seconds behind Peter Short. Catching these two cats. So this race is by far from over.
Suddenly he's back in this race with 20 lap fresher tires than those two leaders. So he's definitely not out of it,
Cameron Rich is slowing these cats down. This is really allowing Peter Short the gain. But nonetheless, Cameron's just trying to conserve and be aggressive at the same time. But he's getting loose. Gets snappy loose off turn number 2. He's being aggressive now, even though he doesn't know if he can make it to the end. What's Chuck Sweeting gonna do? He's got to get by Rich eventually here, if he doesn't want to deal with Peter Short right off the bat. Because if he does not get by Cameron Rich and Peter Short's there, Chuck Sweeting is going to be in a bind.
Sure is. He made up all this time, and it would be all for naught once that 22 gets here, but...
2.5 seconds and coming down between Peter Short and Chuck Sweeting. And Cameron Rich.
Cross under right here. Get a good run out of the corner, but nope, not gonna happen.
Yeah, he needs a good run on coming off the corner exit.
Well, Peter Short 2 seconds back now. It's all for naught at this point. Peter Short obviously in the winning position at this point, which I didn't think we'd be saying, but
We were just saying like 10 laps ago that is Chuck Sweeting in the winning position. But hold the phone. It is actually Peter Short in the winning position. He doesn't have to pit anymore. He's practically in the same boat as Chuck Sweeting. But the difference is Short has fresher tires than Sweeting.
by a good margin, about 20 lap fresher tires. So.
And here we go, challenging around the outside line comes Chuck Sweeting. Cameron's trying to defend it.
And look who's already in the picture here. Here comes the 22 of Peter Short.
Yep.
It's not going to be...
Battle.
This 22 will get Chuck here, I believe. Well...
Oh, man, he could not get her by the 17.
He's going to dive it into the corner.
Oh, he's sideways into the corner. Sweeting hard into the corner.
Knock, knock. For the lead. I have a feeling that Peter's going to dive it in. Yep, there he goes.
And you're going to have to call
he's going to have to make it stick.
You're going to have to call the race in action here because I just lost everything on iRacing due to the storm here.
Oh, no. All right, well, you saw there Peter Short just got the lead, but Chuck Sweeting going to try and take advantage there as Cameron Rich going to get stuck to the outside. Cameron Rich going to take, or excuse me, Chuck Sweeting going to take second. Cameron Rich will fall back to third, and the 56 of Tate Lytle there, not on the lead lap. Paul Ross is all the way back in fourth, 11 seconds behind all this action.
Oh, man, the heck with this. I'm going to have to watch this on the video thing right here on Carl's video board. But nonetheless, Chuck Sweeting's race may be over because that number 22 machine has made the correct call. Even though we thought it was too early, he still made the correct call to come down pit road, and he's still out front. It's just a matter of if we see a caution before this thing's over with.
Yes, sir. Coming to 25 laps to go. I think these guys' beds are going to be set here, but with Cameron Rich, I think he can make it to the end now. I have a feeling he started saving very aggressively early in that run, kind of anticipating something like this happening. So I think these top three at this point are in a position where they can make it to the end.
Caution comes out, it's going to change everything.
Oh, this whole race is going to change. And we only have 8 cars still on the lead lap, so Samuel Close just getting the lap back, but I have a feeling he's going to go another lap down with Peter Short on those fresher tires. But Matt Hackathorn currently the first lap down. 24 laps remaining here. Looks like not a whole lot of racing here. Peter Short just getting by Sam Close there. So that'll put Sam back 1 lap down, unfortunately. 7 cars left now on the lead lap. Cameron Rich.
He's having an issue. Hey, Justin,
I think he just came off pit road. He just came off pit road. I did not realize that Cameron Rich came down pit road. And looks like he's going to barely stay on the lead lap. That's Peter Short just behind him. How about that? So Cameron Rich obviously going to make it to the end now. If he gets a caution, I think this is definitely going to put him in the winning strategy there. He'll be able to stay out, but 22 laps to go. It looks clean and green here on the racetrack.
He came out just in front of the 22 of Peter Short. So it seems like he's not going to be able to go a lap down considering he has he has fresher tires in the 22. So I'm coming out of retirement here from the broadcast booth into actually commentating since Tanner's having an issue with the storms over there where he's at. So Justin, it's 21 laps to go. People are demanding a caution. I'm seeing water bottles all around the racetrack, but I'm not seeing a caution out there right now. These drivers are too good.
I'm telling you, this race has taken so many crazy and tipsy turns. One part of the race, we think one driver has the winning strategy. The next thing we know, the other guy hits pit road. Suddenly, he's in the winning position. I don't think Cam and Rich are going to be able to close up 28 seconds in 20 laps. But we see guys pitting pit road. Johnny Thomas on pit road, as well as the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw.
I do not believe that Cameron Rich has enough time to get back up there. He really needs a caution for this thing to work out for him. But as the more laps that gets run, the less of a chance he has. Because at this point, if a caution does come out right now, everybody's going to go down pit road except for Cam. But in 10 more laps, they're all going to come down pit road, including Cam, and Cam will not get the lead from that.
Well, everybody's kind of strung out at this point with how long this run has gone on for. 6 cars now on the lead lap. Cam Rich going to be your last on the lead lap there. And obviously not cutting too much out of the gap of the lead for Peter Short. So I think it might be all for naught. We'll see how far Cam Rich can get up to the lead. He's about to pass Kevin Finn here for 5th. Currently on the inside. Going to dive it into turn 1. And we'll take the spot.
That'll be 5th spot now. He's got about 7 more seconds up until 4th place with Paul Ross.
Well, actually, Luis Amasa just took over the 3rd spot from Paul Ross, so that moves him back to 4th.
Yes. So it's about 7 seconds now. Sorry, 6 seconds now. Cam is really speeding into that position. He's going well past he's well past a second and a half faster than Paul Ross. So in the next couple laps, he should be able to take over that 4th spot and be within another position of taking over for the 3rd spot, putting him back to where he was.
Oh man, we said this race has taken so many twists and turns here these closing laps. But coming to 15 to go now. Peter Short just crossing the line for 15 to go. The 56th of Tate Lytle just in front, some lap traffic. And has basically checked out from 2nd place Chuck Sweeting for the moment. Luis Amaso not really going to be a factor for that 2nd spot. Quite a bit back from Chuck Sweeting. About 15 seconds, the number to be exact. He came in Rich there trying to make his way through the field. Paul Ross not too far ahead of Cameron at the moment.
He's about 2.5 seconds.
He's going to have to deal with some lap traffic as well in between.
By this point now, if a caution does come out, Cam has to come down with them. Yes. Unless he's going to try to pull a Lafferty at Indianapolis.
At this point, you're 5th and kind of in a position where, he won't lose too much by pitting, but leader currently in some lap traffic at the moment. Looks like Johnny Thomas right behind.
So right here, this would be a battle. This will be the pass for 4th place, and Luis Amaso is about 2 seconds, just under 2 seconds in front of Cameron Rich.
So I'm just entering turn 1 there, so looks like he'll probably be able to make it up to 3rd, but I think that's going to be as far as that 17 Boeing Ford makes it up in the field here tonight. Of course, unless we have that, magical yellow flag come out. About to take 10 laps to go. About 5 laps to go is when we will not return to racing. Here in 3 wide, we do not do 1-lap shootouts, so once we take 5 laps to go, this race is going to be virtually over. So 10 to go now, and Peter just in a league of his own. Chuck Sweeting about 7.5 seconds back, so no pressure there. And the fight for third is on at the moment.
Right there, the car right in front of Cam is Luis Almaso. Dives it into the first corner. Luis will not give him that spot. I cannot blame him, but there's no way that Luis is going to be able to hang on for 10 more laps.
And now Cameron will get underneath the 4. And we'll take the spot. And like I said, I think that's as far as that 17 is going to make it up tonight. With 9 laps to go, unless we get a caution in the next 4 laps.
I believe, yeah, that'll be it as well. He's got 16 seconds to second place Chuck Sweeney and 24 seconds to leader Peter Short. But pitting did help him. Pitting did help him out because he was 3rd place when he came down pit road, and now he's 3rd place now with 8 laps to go.
Paul Ross is about to get put a lap down here. Peter Short just going by. He's lapped all the way up to 6th place, so that will leave 5 left on the lead lap. And with how many yellows we had in the beginning of the race, kind of surprisingly, this long green flag run looks like it's going to be how this race finishes out here tonight.
Yeah, the drivers that are out here now, by this point, they haven't spun out. They're not going to cause any issues. They're all out here trying to get the best position they can.
So realistically, there's that word again, but the only playoff driver it looks like tonight that may be in a little bit of danger is going to be Levi Zielinski. Started the playoffs with a 4-point cushion from the bottom, and going to lose some ground here tonight. Looks like he's going to finish 22nd.
20 seconds.
Chad Brown as well.
Yeah, currently 107 laps down.
Chad Brown as well in a little bit of danger. Currently in 16th. Dylan Hickey in 15th. And Johnny Thomas 10th. Just got the 9th position actually. Sam Close in 8th. Matt Hagethorn in 7th. And Paul Ross 6th. Kevin Finn in the 5th position. Luis Almaso in 4th. Cameron Rich 3rd. Chuck Sweeting 2nd. And Peter Short in 1st with 5 laps to go.
Let me say something. Cam, he's already cut that lead. He's already cut the gap between himself and Chuck in half already. He's about 13 seconds of a space between him and 2nd place. So Cam definitely has a fast car. Unfortunately, he is out of time.
Yes, sir. As, the 00 of Richard Race Clark into the wall, and that will,
I believe that should be it.
That will finish it off. Yeah, he got stuck in the wall there. Race Clark did. Not quite sure what caused it. Oh, see some heavy racing there with the 56 of Tate Lytle. And probably a bump off the corner. No, he just lost it by his own. Ooh. And he's going to get stuck in the wall there. Very
that should do it.
Race, yeah. He's on board with the 00 of Race Clark. I don't think you're going to see any contact. I think just loose off the corner.
Yep.
And going to get stuck. Well, here's one driver that's not going to have to worry about these next upcoming races, Watkins Glen and Dover, I believe. Yes. So, Peter Short, who is already a pretty good road racer, maybe going to try 2 for 2 for the road courses. And
well, we remember what happened last year. We weren't broadcasting it, but our friends over at OCR Television were broadcasting that race. Peter Short definitely had the faster car that weekend at Watkins Glen, with Cam and Rich just following right behind him. And on that very last lap, it seemed like Peter Short just locked up his tires, and Cam went on to win the race.
That's almost, it seemed like reverse situations, but what happened at Road America? Obviously the 17 having some issues there, but they're about to take the white flag, so... Either way, some of these playoff guys come home with some good finishes here. Chuck Sweeting, who won the pole here tonight, he's going to come home second. Definitely feel like if we had a late race caution, Chuck would have had something for him, but was not meant to be.
Let's talk about something else here. Top 9 drivers are all playoff drivers.
Yes, sir.
And then the only spoiler there was the 10 of Richard Hines.
Good top 10 finish for Richard as well. Alright, well. At one point, we thought the 26 had the winning strategy. And then all of a sudden, Peter Short shocked us all, came down pit road, took the lead, and never looked back. And he's going to take the first race of the playoffs. He wins here at Milwaukee, and will not have to worry about Watkins Glen or Dover in these next 2 playoff races.
What a dominating performance by the Eisentech boys. Peter Short definitely, he had one of the faster cars all night, or all day, I guess. And Cam was definitely up there up front too. He just did not have enough laps, and he saved when he probably should have just gone with that second strategy he had.
Yes, sir. Well, 22 gonna burn it down, and I'm sure he's gonna savor this one. He's on to the round of 9. Well, definitely gonna have a lot to talk about with these drivers. Some of these, we mentioned some of these playoff guys with some good nights, some decent nights, and then some nights they'd like to forget about.
Well, let's go on and talk to third place finisher here, Cam and Rich.
Right. Cam and Rich, 3YTV, you got a copy?
Yeah, I do. What's up?
Well, it seemed like that the advantage on the racetrack changed hands a lot towards those closing laps, and towards the end there, either it didn't, or you knew you didn't have enough to make it, or you wanted to try and get up there with some fresh tires, but I'm sure you can explain it better than us.
Yeah, about lap 180 or so, I was thinking to myself, what the hell did I just do? Because I didn't know what I was trying to do. I was trying to, like, first I was going to try to make it, and then Chuck caught me, and then Peter caught me, and I was like, well, I'm slow. So I pitted, and I took 2 tires, and I was so slow. But it was a pretty good rebound. I'm glad I got back up to third. That's about where I should have finished, third or second, because Peter was class of field. He had everybody covered pretty well.
Absolutely, and it was, you mentioned it though, quite a rebound. It seemed like everybody who came down pit road late in that race made quite a good rebound, surprisingly. Up to third, I'm sure you wanted to get a little bit higher there, but for everything that went down, I'm sure third place is going to be good as we move on to a road course. We know you're good at those.
Yeah, you know, the pit time in Milwaukee is really short. You're only on pit road for about 30 seconds, and tires were a pretty big deal, actually. So, you know, you got those tires, and you could pretty much fly past everyone. And I should have pitted with Peter. You know, in hindsight, it's 2020, but you know, I didn't know what was going to happen. So I'm glad I got third. It's a pretty good finish, and I'm a little sad because one of my contacts fell out of my eye with about 10 to go, so I couldn't see where I was going.
Oh man, I've been there.
I was gonna say it sounds like Carlos, but So, third place here tonight. You move on to a road course, which last time we were at one of those, it was the Cameron and Peter show. I'm thinking we're probably going to see the same type of show, but obviously I'm sure you're going to want to take home the checkered flag this time instead of Peter.
Yeah, man, I love Watkins Glen. It's really fast, really fun track, and I think I'm pretty good there. We had a good battle last year with Peter, and kind of did the Gregson Gilliland thing without the wrecking, so that was really fun. I hope we can do that again, because that was good stuff. I don't know where we're good to after that, though. Like Chicago, maybe?
Dover.
Oh, yeah. I like that track, too.
All right, well, before we let you go here tonight, we want to give you a chance to thank your sponsors, thank the team, and thank anybody that made this possible here tonight.
I just want to thank Corey, because he works his butt off, and, we take him for granted sometimes, but he does a lot. And, he sits out and admins the race and everything, so, we love Corey. My teammates, they're all awesome. You guys broadcasting them every week. I love watching them Tuesday after, because we're on Monday. So, you guys do a great job. Keep it up. I love watching them.
Well, thank you. And that's our third place finisher here tonight, Cameron Rich. Cameron, we wish you the best at Watkins Glen there.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, well, let's go talk to second place finisher Chuck Sweeten. Is he on the Discord? Yes, he is. Justin, take it away.
Yes, sir. Chuck Sweeten, you got a copy?
I sure do.
Well, I couldn't really tell you what happened in those final maybe 40 laps with everybody kind of jockeying around with pit strategy and all. At one point, it seemed like you had the winning strategy, and then all of a sudden, Peter Short came down pit road and kind of spoiled that all.
Yeah, I kind of thought that I did too. This is a pretty short pit road, and you can go 45 on it, so you don't really spend a lot of time on there considering it's a 1 mile track, and I think it was just better strategy, and he did the right thing, and we didn't have any cautions, and it worked out for him, and good for him. Congrats to him, and I'm happy with second. I probably would have if there had been cautions, I probably would have ended up third, fourth, fifth, somewhere like that.
Let's talk about the rest of the race. You won the pole there, and off the start, you showed a whole lot of speed there. Kind of dropped back towards the mid portion of the race, but towards the end there, definitely showed your speed again.
Yeah, I was just trying to be safe early, not get any damage, not take any risks, save tires. I knew there would probably be a few cautions early, and there were, and I needed one late there, but didn't get it.
All right, well, we move on from Milwaukee, a good P2 for you. As we move on to Watkins Glen, are you the type of guy that dreads road course races or looks forward to them?
I don't dread them. I'm kind of average at them, though, so that'll be one I'll just try to survive and do the best that I can and try to get through it to move on to the next round.
All right, Chuck. Well, before we let you go here tonight, I want to give you a chance to thank the sponsors, thank the team, and anybody else that made this possible here tonight.
Yeah, I mainly want to thank Corey Lindsay for all he does, and everybody in the league. It makes it a lot of fun. Drivers race with a lot of respect, and it's a blast every week, every race. So just thanks to everybody.
All right, that's Chuck Sweeting here tonight. He finishes P2.
Let's go see if we can talk to our race winner, Peter Short.
Peter Short, 3YTV, you got a copy?
10-4.
Well, those final couple laps, we thought you pitted a little bit too early there. And then you kind of surprised us all. He came down pit road again and just kind of stole the race from there. Was the pit strategy in the beginning a mistake?
Well, when I realized that people were going to make it on fuel, I kind of went, oh, darn. This isn't going to go too well for me. But, I quickly realized that the pit road time, the pit road delta time, was only about half a second. And that's really short for a lot of these tracks, especially for a track like this, which is kind of a slower track. I felt like, as soon as I realized that, I said, oh, well, you know what, I can at least recover to get a good finish. And I made huge inroads on the first 20 lap stretch. I was on the fresher tires. I was almost a second a lap faster, and I realized, man, I actually can do this. And then, of course, second, I pitted with about 45-ish laps to go, and had about 15 to 20 lap fresher tires than everyone else. And that 15 to 20 lap fresher tires made a huge difference, and I was able to run down Chuck and Cameron. And, it feels really good to be the leader with 25 laps to go on fresh tires and everyone else around you's on old tires. So I got really lucky with the strategy. Had a caution come out, it really would have put a wrench in it. And you have races like tonight where they go mostly green, or you have races that aren't like that. So lucky for me, this was one of those races. But yeah, it feels pretty good. It's been a while since I last won a cup race, so it feels pretty good.
Well, most important about this win here tonight is you get the bye from Watkins Glen, which I don't think you needed the bye from, but you also get a bye from Dover, and you're automatically into the round of 9. Yeah,
Cameron's really good at the next few tracks, so I knew that based on my performance at this track last year, where I feel like this is a little bit of redemption because I kind of lost this race with about 15 to go last year. I realized that tonight was kind of my night because I think Cameron's going to be on point the next 2 weeks. So, but I'm looking forward to Watkins Glen. It should be fun. Of course, we got an off week next week, so maybe I should hit some laps and do some practice.
Yes, sir. Well, you just mentioned Watkins Glen there. Last time we were at a road course, it seemed like Cameron got a little off strategy and you were able to take the win. I'm sure you're wanting to make it 2 for 2 despite the bye.
Yeah, last year I lost Watkins Glen on the last lap. Cameron got around me on the last lap, and it was my mistake. So, got some redemption here tonight. It would definitely be some redemption if I was able to get the win at the Glen in 2 weeks.
All right, well, before we let you go, I want to give a chance to thank the sponsors, thank the team, and, of course, everybody who made it possible to be here tonight.
Yeah, definitely want to thank Drew Eisman. He's an awesome guy. We've been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto recently together just as kind of a team bonding exercise, and really it's been a lot of fun. So thanks to him. He paints all my cars and everything, does a fantastic job. I want to thank my wife. She sits on the couch and watches TV while I do these races every Sunday and Monday night, and I know it's a lot of time. It's 6 hours per week that I put into this, but it's a lot of fun to race with everyone in the league. Thanks to Corey, and thanks to you guys for putting on an awesome show.
Yes, sir. And again, congratulations on the win here tonight. We'll see you 2 weeks at Watkins Glen. Hopefully you don't lose it on the final lap once again there.
Yeah, thanks guys. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, that's Peter Short, your winner here tonight.
All right, so that's going to pretty much take care of all the interviews we had here for tonight. Unfortunately, Tanner's living in an area where it's surrounded by thunderstorms, and he had a power outage. So I was filling in these last couple of laps and filling out the post-race show. Hopefully Tanner's going to be okay over there. He sent me a message just saying the power's out, and we wish him good luck. Hopefully he stays dry.
Yes, sir.
So before we leave here tonight, it was a fantastic race. A little bit sluggish on the start, but the end of the race, it didn't fail to disappoint. So let's go ahead and bring up the race results. Justin, you can go ahead and start.
Yes, sir. Well, Peter Short takes the win here tonight at Milwaukee and gets that all-important pass into the round of 9. He's going to have a lot more work to do, I have to believe, in that round of 9, but gets the pass in there. Chuck Sweeting, who we thought at one point had the race-winning strategy, comes home second. Cameron Rich comes home third after a late pit stop. Luis Almaso comes home with fourth after bringing out the first caution. Kevin Finn going to round out the top 5 there. Paul Ross going to come home 6th here tonight. Matt Hackthorne 7th. Sam Close 8th. Johnny Thomas 9th. And Richard Hines going to be the lone non-playoff driver there in the top 10.
In 11th place, we're going to have Tate Lytle with Nick Miller on 12th. Jordan Teal will be finishing 13th. Dylan Hickey, a playoff driver. It's not Chase, Justin. It's a playoff now. It's going to be 14th with Chad Brown.
I said Chase?
Finishing 15th. You did say Chase. Kyle Henshaw is going to be 16th with Bryce Clark in 17th. James Duke will be finishing 18th with Rusty Webb 19th. And William Kruska making his Cup Series debut, finishing 20th.
And normally I'm the one who calls out people for calling it Chase, but either way, Nathan Velez going to come home 21st. Levi Zielinski going to have some work to do after coming home 22nd here tonight. Richard Lafferty 23rd, and Mike Stevens going to round out the field here in 24th.
And of course, everybody's favorite contender, Corey Lindsey, decided to take the playoff time of the season to retire from the rest of the season and officiate off track, of course, for the remainder of the season. This is just a safety measure to help ensure that the races go by smoothly and that nobody gets an unnecessary black flag or something that could have been prevented. So I also want to give my thanks to Corey Lindsey. He is definitely one of the best of the rest out there. And, you know, league owner, I'm just happy for the things he does. So, Justin, we have a couple final thank yous we want to say.
Yes, sir. Of course, these camera angles tonight were provided by TrackCams for Gourmet. You can find more information and download the pack at www.trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams. Want to thank Thomas Moores from OCR TV for the graphics package here tonight. The new graphics package for the playoffs here was in debut for 3 Wide Racing here tonight. And of course, we want to thank RaceKings for sponsoring the series. And if tonight was any sort of indication on how this playoff's going to go, this is going to be quite the unpredictable playoffs as we go into Watkins Glen in 2 weeks' time. So I believe I said all the thank yous. Not normally the one who does that, but thank you here tonight for Carlos Acosta in the production booth and had to take over commentating duties for the last 30 laps there. Want to send a thank you and hoping for the best for Tanner Sharp, dealing with some storms over there. Hope everything gets cleared up over there soon, and hope nothing too serious happens over there. But for Carlos Acosta, Tanner Sharp, I'm Justin Kolb here tonight. We thank you for watching here at the Milwaukee Mile, and we hope to see you in 2 weeks' time at Watkins Glen.
This means I don't have to pay him, right? Because I kind of did his job at the end.
I mean, that's up to you.
All right, goodbye, everybody. We hope you have a great night.